Hello everyone, welcome back to Stopgap Solutions. This is Dr. Shilpa. We'll be continuing our series for current affairs based on Vision PT365 और आज का इसमें हमारा टॉपिक रहेगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इन न्यूज़. ओके, तो नंबर 1 हियर इज UN related, United Nations General Assembly UNGA. And United Nations General Assembly passes a resolution called the Security Council to admit Palestine as a member of the UN. Which Palestine? ठीक है. Now इसके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं. Genesis founded in 1945 as one of the 6 principal organs of the UN. Members comprises all 193 UN member state. Voting, each member state has one vote. Decisions on important issues required a 2/3 of majority. Meets annually in regular sessions starting in September with special sessions as needed. Presidency इसकी rotates annually among member states elected from 5 geographical groups. Alright, so overview of the UN General Assembly functions. इसके functions क्या क्या हैं? Pass resolutions, issue non-binding resolution with political and moral influence, elect members. Okay, so elect non-permanent Security Council members and other UN bodies. ये बजट भी अप्रूव करते हैं. Sanction the UN budget and assess member states financial contributions. Discuss global issues, engage in dialogue and provide recommendations on worldwide challenges. So this was the functioning. Next is UN Security Council. United Nations General Assembly elected Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, Panama and Somalia to serve as non-permanent members of the UNSC for 2-year terms. Okay, now quick review about this. UNSC holds the primary responsibility for maintaining internal peace and security. Established हुआ था through UN Charter in 1945. Composition इसके 15 members रहते हैं, जिसमें से 5 permanent हैं and 10 non-permanent members हैं जो rotate होते रहते हैं. तो 5 में आपका चाइना, फ्रांस, रशिया, यूके एंड यूएस. दे एंजॉय वीटो पावर. एंड नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर्स इलेक्टेड बाय UNGA फॉर 2-year टर्म्स थ्रू सीक्रेट बैलेट. तो अभी जो है अफ्रीका से 3, एशिया से 2, लैटिन अमेरिका से 2, वेस्टर्न यूरोप एंड अदर्स से 2 एंड ईस्टर्न यूरोप से 1. ठीक है. अदर की फैक्ट्स अबाउट UNSC इज डिसीजन पावर. UNSC के पास पावर है टू मेक बाइंडिंग डिसीजंस दैट मेंबर स्टेट मस्ट इम्प्लीमेंट थ्रू the UN Charter. Okay, India has been elected as non-permanent seat of the UNSC 8 times with the most recent term अभी जो था 2021 से 2022. Right, next is United Nations Internal Justice Council (IJC). Retired Supreme Court Judge Madan B. Lokur has been appointed as the chairperson of the UN Internal Justice Council. Now, इसका establishment कब हुआ था? The General Assembly established the IJC to ensure independence and accountability in the UN's internal justice system. 5-member body है. Members are appointed by the Secretary General. Function इसका, the Council is tasked with funding suitable candidates for vacant judge positions in the UN Dispute Tribunal and the UN Appellate Tribunal. It also provides its views on the administration of the justice system of the General Assembly. Alright, so next is United Nations Conference on the Trade and Development, UNCTAD. Okay, it's also known as the United Nations Conference on the Trade and Development as has celebrated 60th anniversary. Headquarter इसका Geneva, Switzerland में. Genesis established by in 1964 by UNGA. It has rebranded to UN Trade and Development. It is objectified by 8 developing countries in integrating the global economy. Membership इसका 195 nations जिसमें इंडिया भी included है. Other key facts, Trade and Development Report, World Investment Report, Least Developed Countries Report. ये सारे reports अगर पूछे जाएं कौन निकालता है तो UNCTAD. Key achievements, implementation of financing for development as mandated by the global community in the Addis Ababa Action Agenda 2015 में and Debt Management and Financial Analysis System DMFAS program. Next is UN Habitat. Now, UN-Habitat released the World Cities Report 2024, Cities and Climate Action, highlighting the critical role of cities in addressing climate change and promoting sustainable urban development. अब इसका हेडक्वार्टर है नायरोबी, केन्या. Genesis established in 1978 following Habitat 1, which laid the foundations of the United Nations Human Settlement Program. Objective mandated by the UN General Assembly to promote socially and environmentally sustainable towns and cities. Collaborates with governments, intergovernmental organizations, UN agencies, civil societies, academic institutions and private sector also. इसके फ्लैगशिप पब्लिकेशंस कौन कौन से हैं? स्टेट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड सिटीज एंड वर्ल्ड सिटीज रिपोर्ट. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट है हमारा यूनाइटेड नेशन इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल कमीशंस फॉर एशिया एंड द पैसिफिक. ओके, इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल सर्वे ऑफ एशिया एंड पैसिफिक 2024, एन एनुअल फ्लैगशिप पब्लिकेशन सिंस 1947 वाज रिलीज्ड. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है बैंकॉक, थाईलैंड में. Established in 1947 as Economic Commission for Asia and Far East, and in 1976 it became ESCAPE. बना कब था? 1947. ESCAPE कब हुआ? 1976. It is an intergovernmental platform supporting inclusive, resilient and sustainable development in the Asia Pacific region by generating action-oriented knowledge, technical assistance and capacity building. Now, UNESCAP is one of the 5 regional commissions of the United Nations. It provides a forum for all government of region to review and discuss economic and social issues and to strengthen regional cooperation. Members हैं इसके 53 and 9 associate members. इंडिया भी इसका एक member है. ओके, इसके पब्लिकेशंस हैं मेनली एशिया एंड द पैसिफिक एसडीजी प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट 2024. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट इज आर यूएन पीसकीपर्स. इंडिया लेड ग्रुप ऑफ फ्रेंड्स लॉन्च्ड अ न्यू डेटाबेस डिजाइन टू रिकॉर्ड क्राइम्स अगेंस्ट पीसकीपर्स एंड मॉनिटर प्रोग्रेस इन होल्डिंग परपेट्रेटर्स अकाउंटेबल. जेनेसिस इसका स्टार्टेड इन 1948 with UN military observers in West Asia for the Armistice Agreement. Assist countries in transitioning from conflict to peace. Principles, किस principle पे काम करता है? Consent, impartiality, non-use of force, acceptance, self-defense and mandate defense. Blue helmets. UN peacekeepers wear distinctive blue helmets. Deployment of peacekeepers. The Security Council determines UN peacekeeping deployment by adopting a resolution. The budget and resources are subjected to General Assembly approval. Every member state of the UN is legally obliged to pay their respective share towards the peacekeeping. The Department of Peace Operations (DPO) of the UN provides political and executive directions to peacekeeping operations. ठीक है, सक्सेस कुछ है इसके, जैसे कि UNPK received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1988. India का contribution. India was the first to send an all-women unit under UNPK, which was sent to Liberia. India is one of the largest UNPK contributors of military personnel. ठीक है, हमारा जो contribution है वो largest है military personnel के terms में. Okay, next is United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Northeast. India recently released the second tranche of USD 2.5 million to UNRWA, fulfilling its annual contribution of USD 5 million for 2024 and 25. अब इसका हेडक्वार्टर है अम्मान, जॉर्डन एंड गाजा. Okay, Genesis formed by a UN General Assembly resolution in 1949 following the 1948 Arab-Israel War to carry out direct relief and work for programs for Palestinian refugees. Funded almost entirely by voluntary contributions from UN members, तो कोई इसमें mandatory contribution नहीं होता है, voluntary होता है. Mandated extended until 30 June 2026. Area of work operations in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Gaza Strip and West Bank including East Jerusalem. Okay, next is EU and Disengagement Observer Force. The UN Secretary General recently paid tribute to Brigadier Amitabh Jha, who was serving with the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force at Golan Heights. हेडक्वार्टर है इसके कैंप फॉर सीरियन साइड ऑफ द गोलान हाइट्स. ना बना था ये established by UN Security Council in 1974 following the 74 disengagement of forces agreement between Israel and Syria. Maintain the ceasefire and supervise the area of separation, a demilitarized buffer zone. Supervise the area of limitation where Israeli and Syrian troops are restricted in the Golan. The mandate is renewed every 6 months by the UNSC and has been renewed till June 2025. Now, India का role क्या है इसमें? It is the third largest military contributor to UNDOF. अब is stationed along the Alpha line, the Israeli line, and the Bravo line, the Syrian line in the Golan Heights. All right. So next is the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. So UNODC released 2 key reports: annual report on World Drug Day, International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, and World Wildlife Crime Report 2024. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है वियना, ऑस्ट्रिया. Now Genesis is 1997. Members work with all UN member states. Objective इसका combat drug abuse, illicit trafficking, organized crime, corruption and terrorism as well. It supports international conventions like UNTOC and UN Convention Against Corruption. Alright, so next is UN Commission on Narcotic Drugs, UNCND. So basically actually क्या है जो हमने अभी ऊपर पढ़े थे स्टार्टिंग के 4 और 5, those are very very important and the rest जो अभी हम कर रहे हैं they are somewhere in news, that's why we are revising this. तो आप एक बार रिवाइज कर लो, एक बार और कर लो, याद रह जाएगा, इतना काफ़ी है. तो मूविंग ऑन, इंडिया हैज़ बीन चूजन टू चेयर द 68th सेशन ऑफ UNCND for the first time, marking a significant milestone in global drug control efforts. इसका origin है established in 1946 by UN Economic and Social Council to supervise international drug control treaties. अब इसके members हैं 53 member states selected by ECOSOC. Function इसका है serves as the governing body by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Reviews and analyzes global drug situation focusing on supply and demand reduction. Well, next is our UNESCO World Heritage Committee. Assam's Charayo Modam was officially inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List during the 46th World Heritage Committee, which held in Delhi. Genesis is established in 1972 under World Heritage Convention during UNESCO's 17th session, and its objective known as the 5 C's: credibility, conservation, capacity building, communication and communities. Key roles हैं: makes final decisions on World Heritage List inscriptions, manages the World Heritage Fund and provides financial aid to state parties, monitors conservation efforts of listed sites. Members हैं इसके includes 21 state party representatives elected by the General Assembly for 6-year terms. India was elected for the 21 से 25 वाला term. Key partners हैं International Center for the Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property, promotes cultural heritage conservation, and International Council on Monuments and Sites works on preserving architecture and landscape heritage. Okay, so next is our UNEP. This is actually important. तो headquarter है इसका नायरोबी, केन्या. An international environmental authority engaged in establishing a global environment agenda and promoting the efficient implementation of the Sustainable Development Program. Established हुआ था 1972 में following UN Conference on the Human Environment. Member इसके 193 UN member states including India approved the program of work and budget. Funding relies on voluntary contribution for over 95% of funding needs. Environment Fund is UNEP's core fund. Hosts the secretariats of various conventions and entities. Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services (IPBES) and Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC, hosted jointly by UNEP and World Meteorological Organization. Now common carbon metric supported by UNEP has been developed for assessing the carbon footprint of building operations around the world. तो कॉमन कार्बन मेट्रिक अगर आता है तो ये किससे रिलेटेड है, किससे सपोर्टेड है, यूनेप से. ओके, नाउ मेजर ग्लोबल मल्टीलेटरल एग्रीमेंट्स अंडर यूनेप. एज आई सेड दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, तो ये हमको एक बार से याद रखना है पूरा टाइमलाइन इसका. So number 1 is Convention on International Trade and Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES in 1973. Then second is Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, CMS or Bernatcher Convention in 1979. Next is Vienna Convention for the Protection of Ozone Layer in 1985. Basel Convention on the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Waste and Their Disposal 1989. Convention on Biological Diversity CBD 1992. Rotterdam Convention on the Prior Informed Consent Procedure of Certain Hazardous Chemicals and Pesticides in International Trade 1998. Stockholm Convention of Persistent Organic Pollutants POP 2001 and Minamata Convention on Mercury 2013. And UNEP has 15 environmental agreements under it. Alright. ओके, सो रिपोर्ट्स और इंडाइसेस जो ये पब्लिश करते हैं, एक बार वी हैव अ लुक ऑन इट ऑल्सो. एमिशंस गैस रिपोर्ट 2024 ट्रैक्स द गैप बिटवीन वेयर ग्लोबल एमिशंस आर हेडिंग विद करंट कंट्री कमिटमेंट्स एंड वेयर दे ऑट टू बी टू लिमिट वार्मिंग टू 1.5 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. नाउ की फाइंडिंग, GHG emissions rose to a new high of 57 gigatons of CO2. इंडिया रैंक्स थर्ड इन टोटल GHG emissions, सबसे पहले चाइना देन US. Adaptation Gap Report 2024. Adaptation gap is the difference between actually implemented adaptation and a societally set goals, reflecting resource limitations and completing priorities. अब इसके की फाइंडिंग क्या निकले हैं? Adaptation gap is estimated at $187 to 359 billion per year. इतना adaptation gap. International public adaptation finance flows to developing countries increased to $27.5 billion in 2022. Next is Global Status Report for Building and Construction, Building GSR 2024, published jointly with Global Alliance for Building and Construction, Global ABC. Founded at COP21, it is leading global platform for all built environment stakeholders committed to zero emission efficient and resilient building and construction sector. इसका key finding है, building and construction sector accounts for around 21% of global GHG emissions and India is contributing 40% of its CO2 emissions to building. 40%, बहुत सारा. All right. Navigating New Horizons, Foresight Report identifies various critical global shifts which accelerate the triple planetary crisis of population, biodiversity loss and climate change. तीनों एक साथ. Key finding है इसका global poly crisis, that is multiple shocks such as wars, extreme weather, pandemic, etc. faced today as interwoven and are a consequence of globalization. Everyone knows about this. Next is UNFCCC. So COP29 of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was held in Baku, Azerbaijan, ending with the Baku Climate Unity Pact and various agreements also. Headquarter है इसका Bonn, Germany. Okay, so it was adopted in 1992 Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro and entered into force in 1994. इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है स्टेबलाइज ग्रीन हाउस गैस कंसंट्रेशंस इन द एटमॉस्फेयर टू प्रिवेंट डेंजरस एंथ्रोपोजेनिक इंटरफेरेंस विद द क्लाइमेट सिस्टम. मेंबर्स है इसके 198 पार्टीज इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया ऑल्सो. की एग्रीमेंट इसके अंडर में आते हैं क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल इन 1997 एंड पेरिस एग्रीमेंट इन 2015. नाउ अंडर क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल बाइंडिंग कमिटमेंट्स फॉर डेवलप्ड नेशन टू रिड्यूस GHG emissions and Paris Agreement के अंडर global accord to limit temperature rise below 2 degree centigrade aiming for 1.5. All right, so the next is our UNCCD. Now recently some new initiatives and reports were launched at the COP16 of the UNCCD under the chairmanship of Saudi Arabia. इसका भी हेडक्वार्टर इन बॉन, जर्मनी. It is a sole legally binding international agreement. Sole legally binding. Linking environment and development to sustainable land management. बना कब था? 1994 में. 197 countries है and European Union also. So objective is to protect and restore land. It is committed to a bottom-up approach, increasing the participation of local people. Report है इसका Global Land Outlook. If it comes, that Global Land Outlook, who publishes it? So UNCCD. Under its flagship initiatives, in 2015, Land Degradation Neutrality and Target Setting Program, parties were invited to formulate voluntary targets to achieve LDN. LDN refers to sustainable management of land resources to support ecosystem services and food security. India committed to restore 26 million hectares by 2030. In 2017, the Strategic Framework 2018 to 2030 urging nations to incorporate desertification, land degradation and drought concerns into national policies. इसके अदर इनिशिएटिव्स में आता है द ग्रेट ग्रीन वॉल 2007 में, द चैंगवेन इनिशिएटिव 2011, इंटरनेशनल ड्रॉट रेजिलियंस अलायंस 2022, G20 ग्लोबल लैंड इनिशिएटिव 2020 एंड मैनी अदर्स. So next is UNCBD. Recently 16th Conference of Parties to the UN Convention on Biological Diversity concluded in Cali, Colombia. So theme of this year's conference was Peace with Nature. It is the first COP since adoption of Coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. COP17 2026 is to be held in Yerevan, Armenia. Okay, so next is about UNCBD. इसका origin internationally legal binding treaty adopted to the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development अर्थ समिट में रियो डी जेनेरियो ब्राज़ील में 1992 में, और entered into force in 1993, operates under United Nations Environmental Program. Objective है इसका conservation of biological diversity, sustainable use of its components and fair equitable sharing on the benefits. Secretariat है इसका Montreal, Canada में, and members इसके ratified by 196 members. India became a party in 1994. US hasn't ratified the convention. Governing membership, COP meets every 2 years, biennial, दो साल में एक बार मिलते हैं. अब हम इसके प्रोटोकॉल्स एंड टारगेट्स देखेंगे अंडर CBD. Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety aims to ensure the safe handling, transport and use of living modified organisms (LMOs) resulting from modern biotechnology. Nagoya Kuala Lumpur Supplementary Protocols provides international rules and procedures in the field of liability and redress relating to LMOs. Nagoya Protocol on Excessive Benefit Sharing aims at sharing the benefit arising from the utilization of genetic resources in a fair and equitable way. Aichi Biodiversity Targets, 20 Global Biodiversity Target divide under 5 goals adopted under Strategic Plan for Biodiversity 2011 से 2020 तक to conserve biodiversity and enhance its benefit for the people. Okay, so next is UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, UNDESA. Headquarter New York, USA. UNDESA aims to promote international cooperation on economic, social and environmental issues. Established in 1948 to promote international cooperation on economic, social and environmental things. Objectives: support sustainable development by providing policy analysis, capacity building and coordination among UN member states. Key initiatives हैं high level political forum, monitors progress on SDGs. It engages stakeholders to address pressing economic and social challenges. Membership comprises all 193 UN members including India also. Now we'll see about the reports it publishes. World Economic Situation and Prospects, WESP, analyzes of global economic trends and challenges. World Social Report, insights into social trend affecting inequality and development. Global Sustainable Development Report tracks progress towards SDGs. Financing for Sustainable Development Report examines strategies to fund the 2030 Agenda. So these are the reports published by this. Okay. Our next is UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, SDSN. It's a body under the UN, aims to support the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs. Established in 2012, very recently. Objective: mobilizes global expertise for sustainable development solutions at local, national and global levels. Membership: over 2000 members institutions, primarily universities, coordinated by 57 national and regional networks. Main functions are: provides policy advice, promotes research, foster collaborations across sectors for achieving SDGs. इसके key initiatives हैं Youth Solutions Program, engages youth innovators. SDSN networks adapts SDG solution to regional and local contexts. Thematic networks focus on climate, energy and biodiversity. So reports published by these are Sustainable Development Report, ये ट्रैक करता है SDG के प्रोग्रेसेस को. SDG Cities Guide, localizing SDGs in urban areas. Global Happiness Policy Report, links happiness with the sustainable development. And SDG Transformation Roadmap, strategy for SDG acceleration. Okay, next is United Nations Alliance of Civilizations. The 10th Global Forum of United Nations Alliance of Civilizations adopted Cascais Declaration in Portugal. So it was established in 2005 to serve as a soft power political tool of UN Secretary General for Conflict Prevention and Conflict Resolution. अब इसके 5 प्रायोरिटी एरियाज हैं एक्शन के लिए: एजुकेशन, यूथ, माइग्रेशन, मीडिया, वुमेन एज पीस मीडिएटर्स. एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है इसके: फैसिलिटेट द ग्लोबल कन्वर्सेशन ऑन द चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑफ इंटरकल्चरल इंटरेक्शंस, प्रमोटिंग इनोवेशन टू अपहोल्ड म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट एंड कोऑपरेशन, prevent intercultural tensions and crisis, combat stereotypes, misperceptions, discriminations, xenophobia. Group of Friends, a community of countries and international organizations which actively promotes the objectives. It consists of 160 members. India is also a member. Okay, so next is our International Labour Organization, ILO, has recently released its World Employment and Social Outlook Trends 2025 report. तो एक डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन भी अगर आ जाए, ये किसने रिलीज़ किया है रिपोर्ट? तो ILO ने. हेडक्वार्टर है इसका जिनेवा, स्विट्जरलैंड. Okay, so it is the only tripartite UN agency since 1919 and it brings together governments, employers and workers from 187 member states to set labor standard, create policies and promote decent work for all. It was created in 1919 as a part of the Treaty of Versailles that ended World War I. Now, इसका objective है to promote and realize standards and fundamental principles and rights at work, to create gender opportunities for women and men to secure decent employment, to enhance the coverage and effectiveness of social protection for all, to strengthen tripartism and social dialogue. Okay, next is World Health Organization, bit important, and headquarter again in Geneva. Okay, founded in 1948 as a specialized agency of UN, leads and champions global efforts to give everyone everywhere an equal chance to live a healthy life. 194 member states हैं including India. Now governance इसका कैसे होता है? The World Health Assembly is the supreme decision making body. इसके कुछ key initiatives हैं: में device, medical device information system, global benchmarking tool GBT, evaluates national regulatory system for various products like machines, vaccines, blood pressure products and medical devices. Global Strategic Preparedness, Readiness and Response Plan aims to tackle dengue and other Aedes-borne arboviruses like Zika and chikungunya by fostering a global coordinated response. Coronavirus Network, COVINET, and global initiatives on digital health. Next is our World Meteorological Organization, headquarter again Geneva, Switzerland. A specialized agency of UN and UN's authoritative voice on state of Earth's atmosphere, its interaction with the oceans and the climates. At the word suggest Meteorological Organization. So established in 1950, replaced the International Meteorological Organization of 1873. Members हैं इसके 193. India is also a member. रिपोर्ट्स ये कौन कौन से निकालते हैं? स्टेट ऑफ ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट रिपोर्ट 2023 की फाइंडिंग इसका 2023 वाज द वार्मेस्ट ईयर ऑन रिकॉर्ड. Global average near surface temperature 1.45 degree above the pre-industrial baseline. GHG levels, surface temperatures, ocean heat and acidification etc. reached record high. तो हमारा जो टारगेट था 1.5, 1.45 तो we have already reached. And WMO ozone and UV bulletin key findings. Ozone layer is recovering with ozone depleting substances ODS decreasing. Full recovery to 1980 levels is expected by 2066 over Antarctica, by 2045 over the Arctic and by 2040 for the rest of the world. Air quality and climate bulletin reports on the state of air quality and its connections through climate change. Global particulate matter PM hotspots including agriculture areas in Central Africa, Pakistan, India, China and Southeast Asia. Others, State of Global Water Resource Report, Global Annual to Decadal Climate Update 24 से 28, Greenhouse Gas Bulletin etc. So main you have to remember these much. Okay, next is World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO. So recently the Global Innovation Index 2024 was released by the World Intellectual Property Organization, Cornell University and INSEAD Business School. Headquarters is again in Switzerland, Geneva. Established in 1976 through WIPO Convention, which transformed earlier United International Bureau for the Protection of Intellectual Property into WIPO. Objective है इसका specialized UN agency acting as a global forum for IP services, policy formations and cooperations. ठीक है. Membership इसका 193 member states है. India is also a member. WIPO administered treaties कौन कौन सी हैं? Bern, Washington, Paris, Singapore, etc. Okay, now ITU, International Telecommunication Union. It released Global Cyber Security Index 2024, which will assess country level cyber security commitments. Headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Genesis इसका 17th May 1865. The first International Telegraph Convention signed in Paris by established the Indian National Telegraph Union, the first incarnation of ITU. तो सबसे पहले कब? 1865. ITU is the UN's oldest specialized agency. 17th May became World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. Member again 193 including India. Other members include companies भी हैं इसमें, universities भी हैं and other things. Flagship report है इसका Global Connectivity Report, Global E-Waste Monitor. Okay, next is Universal Postal Union. Department of Post India has released commemorative postage stamps to mark the 150th anniversary of Universal Postal Union. Headquarter again Switzerland but Bern. Established as General Postal Union in 1874 through Treaty of Bern. Second oldest international organization after International Telecommunication Union. Formed in 1865. वर्ल्ड पोस्ट डे कब मनाते हैं? इज सेलिब्रेटेड एज एनिवर्सरी ऑफ एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ यूपीयू. मेंबर्स हैं इसके 192 कंट्रीज. इंडिया इज द ओल्डेस्ट एंड मोस्ट एक्टिव मेंबर. ओके, यूपीयू इज अ यूनाइटेड नेशन स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसी. इंडिया पोस्ट वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट पोस्टल नेटवर्क इज ऑल्सो ऑब्जर्विंग 170 ईयर ऑफ इट्स फॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, अभी हम अदर्स में देख लेते हैं कौन कौन से ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थी जो इन न्यूज़ में थी. तो इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड, द IMF बोर्ड completed the reviews of the extended arrangement under the extended fund facility EFF for Egypt. Headquarter Washington DC, USA. Genesis Bretton Woods कॉन्फ्रेंस के थ्रू हुआ था in 1944. Promotes global macroeconomics, financial stability and also provides short and medium term loans to help countries that are experiencing balance of payment problem. जिनको BOP problem होता है, IMF help those countries. Membership 191. India is also a member. Board of Governors, highest decision making body of IMF, composed of one governor and one alternate governor from each member countries. Executive board है इसका 25 member board, oversee day to day work. एंड इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी एंड फाइनेंशियल कमिटी IMFC एक 25 मेंबर एडवाइजरी बॉडी जो रिप्रेजेंट करती है मेंबर्स को कंट्रीज और ग्रुप्स ऑफ कंट्रीज. नाउ की रिपोर्ट्स इसके वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक, ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट एंड अदर्स. सो दिस इज बिट ऑफ इम्पॉर्टेंट. Okay, next is World Bank. So recently the World Bank Group Guarantee Platform WBGGP went live for businesses. Headquarter Washington DC USA. ब्रेटन वुड कॉन्फ्रेंस जो हुआ था 1944 में, उसी में से इसका भी जेनेसिस हुआ. ऑब्जेक्टिव टू रिड्यूस पॉवर्टी एंड सपोर्ट डेवलपमेंट बाय प्रोवाइडिंग फाइनेंशियल एंड टेक्निकल असिस्टेंस टू डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. मेंबर्स हैं इसके 189 कंट्रीज. इंडिया इज ऑल्सो अ मेंबर. Countries must first join the IMF to be eligible to join the World Bank Group. पहले आपको IMF ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा, then World Bank Group. It consists of 5 organizations: IBRD, IFC, IDA, MEGA and ICSID. Now इसके कुछ रिपोर्ट्स हैं: Global Economic Prospects, Recipe for a Livable Planet, Achieving Net Zero Emissions in the Agri-Food System Reports, Poverty and Shared Prosperity Reports and etc. ओके अभी वर्ल्ड बैंक ग्रुप्स कौन कौन से हैं? ये जो 5 हमने अभी यहाँ देखे थे उन्हीं को थोड़ा सा एलेबरेट है. इंटरनेशनल बैंक फॉर रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एंड डेवलपमेंट IBRD, इट प्रोवाइड लोन्स एंड फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज टू मिडिल इनकम एंड क्रेडिट वर्दी लो इनकम कंट्रीज. इंटरनेशनल डेवलपमेंट एसोसिएशन IDA ऑफर्स कंसेशनल लोन्स एंड ग्रांट्स टू द वर्ल्ड्स पुअरेस्ट कंट्रीज. इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन IFC सपोर्ट्स प्राइवेट सेक्टर डेवलपमेंट इन डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. Okay, MEGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, offers political risk insurance and credit enhancement to promote foreign investment in developing countries. Next is International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute ICSID, provides arbitration and conciliation services for investment disputes between governments and foreign investors. Alright, so World Bank refers only to IBRD and IDA. ये है आपका World Bank. Whereas World Bank Group refers to the all 5 institutions. India is a member to all except ICSID. Now this you have to remember. World Bank हमारा क्या है? Consist of only these 2. और ये जो 5 entities हैं ये आपके World Bank Group का पार्ट है. इंडिया हमारा सबका पार्ट है except this one. I hope you got it. So going for the next is International Atomic Energy Agency IAEA. Now IAEA Incident and Trafficking Database reported 168 incidents of nuclear material theft by 31 states in 2023. Headquarters is in Vienna, Austria. Genesis का 1957 में as an autonomous organization under UN. 180 members. India is also a member. Function क्या है इसका? It monitors compliance with the NPT and independently verify government's adherence to peaceful nuclear technology commitments. नॉन प्रोलिफरेशन ट्रेटी को देखते हैं, मॉनिटर करते हैं कौन कौन इससे कंप्लाइंस कर रहा है, कौन कौन नहीं. रिपोर्ट्स में इसके इम्पॉर्टेंट है, रिपोर्ट्स एनुअली टू द UN जनरल असेंबली एंड UNSC. ओके, सो इंसिडेंट एंड ट्रैफिकिंग डेटाबेस फ्रॉम 1995 एंड फोकसेस ऑन मॉनिटरिंग एंड रिपोर्टिंग एलिसिट न्यूक्लियर ट्रैफिकिंग. Atoms for Food uses nuclear techniques to improve global food security. Atoms for Net Zero promotes nuclear energy to help achieve net zero emissions. International project on innovative nuclear reactors and fuel cycles. It innovates in nuclear reactor and technologies. Zoonotic disease and integrated action integrates nuclear science in managing zoonotic diseases. ठीक है, तो ये सारे आपके प्रोग्राम्स हैं IAEA के अंडर में. Okay, next is WTO. So recently the Marrakesh Agreement marked its 30th anniversary in 2024. तो WTO का हेडक्वार्टर है जिनेवा, स्विट्जरलैंड. WTO international organization whose primary purpose is to open trade for benefit for all. It is only global international organization dealing with the rules of trade between the nations. Established in 1995, it is successor to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade 1948. Members countries हैं इसके 166 including Comoros and Timor 2024 में ऐड हुए थे, नए हैं. इंडिया इज अ फाउंडिंग मेंबर ऑफ WTO. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर क्या है इसका? मिनिस्ट्रियल कॉन्फ्रेंस है, हाईएस्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग बॉडी ऑफ WTO एंड यूजुअली मीट्स आफ्टर एवरी 2 years. General Council, decision making body in Geneva, meeting regularly to carry out functions of WTO. It also meets as dispute settlement body as trade policy review body. Now reports: World Trade Report, World Trade Statistical Review, Global Trade Outlook and others. Okay, next is important, BRICS. So 16th BRICS summit held in Kazan, Russia. Genesis इसका, it has been coined by British economist Jim O'Neill in 2001. BRIC formalized at the G8 outreach summit जो 2006 में हुआ था, तब हमारा BRIC formation हुआ था. First BRIC summit held in Russia in 2009. Member originally 5 थे: Brazil, Russia, India, China. South Africa joined in the group in 2010. New members जो इसमें Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, United Arab Emirates and Indonesia. Indonesia has become the first Southeast Asian members of BRICS. Saudi Arabia still had not made a formal decision as at the end of 2024. ठीक है. BRICS partner countries कौन कौन सी हैं? बेलारूस, बोलिविया, क्यूबा, कजाकिस्तान, मलेशिया, थाईलैंड, युगांडा एंड उज्बेकिस्तान, नाइजीरिया. सेक्रेटेरिएट, इसका कोई परमानेंट सेक्रेटेरिएट या ऑफिस नहीं है. ओके, ये आपकी इनिशियल कंट्रीज थे, बाद में ये और ऐड हो गए. ब्रिक्स के कुछ इनिशिएटिव्स हैं. न्यू डेवलपमेंट बैंक, इसका हेडक्वार्टर है शंघाई, चाइना. फंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन ब्रिक्स एंड इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमीज इंश्योर इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन एंड वोटिंग पावर फॉर ऑल मेंबर्स. फाउंडेड एट द 6th ब्रिक्स समिट इन फोर्टलेजा, ब्राज़ील इन 2014. सो फोर्टलेजा में, ब्राज़ील में 2014 में इसका फॉर्मेशन हुआ था. किसका? न्यू डेवलपमेंट बैंक का. नाउ कंटिजेंट रिजर्व अरेंजमेंट provides essential short-term liquidity support to member nations and countering balance of payment challenges. BRICS Grain Exchange, a Russian-led initiative focused on creating a fair and equitable trading system for agriculture products within the BRICS community, enhancing food and security. Remote sensing satellite constellation, strengthen partnership in space technologies. BRICS Cross-Border Payment Initiative (BCBPI) or BRICS Pay, a blockchain-based payment service for settlements offering an alternative to SWIFT for BRICS nation. Okay, next is G20. So the 18th G20 summit was held in where? Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, under theme building a just world and a sustainable planet. G20 does not have a permanent secretariat or headquarters. Founded in 1999 following the Asian financial crisis as a forum for finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss the global economic and financial issues. Upgraded to the level of head of state government in the wake of 2007 global economic and financial crisis. Decisions made at G20 meeting are not legally binding. Member countries है इसके. G20 comprises of 19 countries: Argentina, Austria, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, the United Kingdom and the United States, with the European Union since 2023, the African Union also. ठीक है, तो ज़्यादा इसमें पूछा जाएगा तो ये कि G20 कंप्राइज किससे करता है. तो सबको 20 तो याद रहेगा, बट 20 में आपके 19 कंट्रीज़ हैं, 1 यूरोपियन यूनियन है और 2023 से हमारा अफ्रीकन यूनियन भी है. ओके, नेक्स्ट पर्पस क्या है इसका? इट प्लेज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन शेपिंग एंड स्ट्रेंथनिंग ग्लोबल आर्किटेक्चर एंड गवर्नेंस ऑन ऑल मेजर इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज. समिट इसके एनुअल होते हैं, हेल्ड एनुअली अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ रोटेटरी प्रेसिडेंसी. द प्रेसिडेंसी इज सपोर्टेड बाय टोरिका, प्रीवियस, करंट एंड इनकमिंग प्रेसिडेंसीज. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज G4 nations. So the Minister of External Affairs meets foreign investor of G4 nation in New York. The group of reaffirm its commitment to urgent reform in the UNSC. G4 nations जो हैं ये अपना क्लेम करते हैं फॉर द UN सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में जो रिफॉर्म्स होने चाहिए उसके लिए. पार्टिसिपेंट्स ब्राज़ील, जर्मनी, इंडिया एंड जापान. सपोर्ट ईच अदर्स बिड फॉर परमानेंट UNSC सीट. UNSC में टिल नाउ 5 परमानेंट मेंबर्स ओनली, उन्हीं के पास वीटो पावर रहता है. सो दीज 4 कंट्रीज सपोर्ट्स ईच अदर पार्टिसिपेशन फॉर द परमानेंट सीट्स. Objective proposes increasing UNSC membership to 25 to 26 with 6 permanent and 4 to 5 non-permanent. ठीक है. Next is Quad. US House of Representatives has passed strengthen US Australia India Japan cooperation or strengthening the Quad Act, and the Prime Minister of India attended the Quad Leaders Summit in Wilmington, US. Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, a plurilateral framework comprising India है इसमें, Australia, Japan and the US. थोड़ा सा टाइमलाइन देखते हैं इसका. 2004 में originated from tsunami relief effort fostering collaborations among the 4 nations. 2007 में formalized by Japan. First Quad meeting held during the ASEAN Regional Forum. 17 में first official talks held in Philippines during the East Asia Summit. Objective इसका है to promote a free, open, inclusive Indo-Pacific region. Alright, so next है हमारा Commonwealth. So 2024 marks 75 years of the modern Commonwealth commemorating of the London Declaration in 1949. मेंबर्स हैं इसके. वॉलंटरी एसोसिएशन है 56 कंट्रीज़ का, जिसमें इंडिया भी है. मेनली जो फॉर्मर ब्रिटिश कॉलोनीज़ थी, जिसमें आज के टाइम डेमोक्रेसी, ट्रेड एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज पे फोकस किया जाता है. बेसिकली 56 कंट्रीज़ वो हैं जो एक टाइम पे कॉलोनीज़ थी, और आज जब ये मिलते हैं तो दे डिस्कस अबाउट डेमोक्रेसी, ट्रेड एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज. 1926 में इसका फॉर्मेशन था. ब्रिटिश कॉमनवेल्थ ऑफ नेशन फॉर्म्ड एट इंपीरियल कॉन्फ्रेंस. 47 India remained a member after independence also. 49 London Declaration enabled republics to join forming the modern Commonwealth. इसका वर्किंग है held over 2 years, latest in Rwanda 2022 में हुआ था, to address key issues and communique. Okay, next is India's relation with the Commonwealth. तो इंडिया का रिलेशन कैसा है कॉमनवेल्थ के साथ? Largest member, India represent nearly 60% of the Commonwealth's total population. Fourth largest contributor to Commonwealth. Events कौन से होस्ट किए अभी तक? CHOGM 1983, Commonwealth Game 2010 in New Delhi. Commonwealth sub-window established under the India UN Development Fund 2018 with $50 million over 5 years. Other key facts, decision made by consensus. All members are considered equal. Members choose the head of Commonwealth. Example include past leaders के Queen Elizabeth II longest serving head थी, and King Charles III current head हैं. King Charles is the head of the state in 14 Commonwealth countries also, in addition to the UK. Most countries in the club are republics. ज़्यादातर सब republics हैं, with Barbados and the last to remove the UK monarch at its head of the state in 2021. ज़्यादातर अभी भी सब republics ही हैं, लेकिन बारबाडोस द लास्ट टू रिमूव द यूके मोनार्क एज ए हेड ऑफ स्टेट इन 2021 में इन्होंने यूके को हेड ऑफ मोनार्क से हटा दिया था अपने. मेजर इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ कॉमनवेल्थ एग्रीमेंट सच एज 1971 डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ कॉमनवेल्थ प्रिंसिपल एंड द 1991 हैररे कॉमनवेल्थ डिक्लेरेशन. कॉमनवेल्थ चार्टर 2012 सेट्स आउट 16 कोर शेयर्ड प्रिंसिपल्स सच एज रूल ऑफ लॉ एक्सेट्रा. Commonwealth's advocacy and supports played a significant role in ending apartheid in South Africa. Only governmental organization to have a dedicated youth program, Commonwealth Youth Program CYP. Commonwealth Cyber Declaration 2018 to support the development of a cyberspace. And Commonwealth Secretariat Countering Violent Extremism Unit. Okay, so next is our South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, that is SAARC. So RBI announces SAARC currency swap framework for 2024 and 2027. तो 24 से 27 तक हमारा करेंसी स्वैप एग्रीमेंट का फ्रेमवर्क RBI ने अनाउंस किया है. सेक्रेटेरिएट है इसका काठमांडू, नेपाल. Established in 1985 through SAARC charter in Dhaka. मेंबरशिप इंडिया, बांग्लादेश, अफगानिस्तान, भूटान, मालदीव्स, नेपाल, पाकिस्तान एंड श्रीलंका. ऑब्जेक्टिव है इसका 9 कंट्रीज, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, चाइना, द यूरोपियन यूनियन, ईरान, जापान, द रिपब्लिक, कोरिया, मॉरिशस, म्यांमार एंड द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. इन सबको हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टेटस मिला हुआ है. मीन्स ये इसके पार्ट नहीं है, बट दे कैन ऑब्जर्व. ओके, अदर की फैक्टर्स ऑन SAARC. Decision at level in SAARC are taken on the basis of unanimity. Bilateral and contentious issues are excluded from its deliberations. Some key SAARC initiatives: South Asian Free Trade Area SAFTA Agreement in 2006, SAARC Food Bank 2007, SAARC Agreement on Trade and Services SATIS 2010. India launched South Asia Satellite in 2017, GSAT-9 and others also. SAARC has been largely dysfunctional since 2016. So because of bilateral tensions between India and Pakistan, SAARC को अभी 2016 से इसका कोई मीटिंग नहीं हुआ है. Next is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, BIMSTEC. So BIMSTEC acquires legal personality after BIMSTEC Charter comes into force. Secretariat in Dhaka, Bangladesh. बना था ये 1997 में with the signing of the Bangkok Declaration. Membership Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Nepal and Bhutan. Basically पाकिस्तान को हटा दो तो it's more or less SAARC. Promote rapid economic development, social progress and ensure peace and stability across the Bay of Bengal region. Next is other key facts on BIMSTEC. Major projects हैं BIMSTEC के अंडर में. Plan for transport connectivity and BIMSTEC principles: sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, political independence, non-interference, peaceful coexistence, etc. 7 फोकस एरियाज: ट्रेड करना है, एनवायरमेंट और क्लाइमेट चेंज देखना है, सिक्योरिटी है, एग्रीकल्चर, फूड सिक्योरिटी, पीपल टू पीपल कॉन्टैक्ट रखना है, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशन, कनेक्टिविटी एंड ऑल. एक्सरसाइजेज इसके: BIMSTEC डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्सरसाइज DMEX. Okay, next is Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. So recently India signed and exchanged first of its kind agreements under Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. So launched in 2022 in Tokyo by US. 4 pillars हैं इसके. एक ट्रेड है, सप्लाई चेन रेजिलियंस है, क्लीन इकोनॉमी, फेयर इकोनॉमी. इंडिया joined pillar 2 to 4 while it has maintained an observer status in pillar 1. Members इनके 14 countries: ऑस्ट्रेलिया, ब्रुनेई, फिजी, इंडिया, इंडोनेशिया, जापान, कोरिया, मलेशिया एंड न्यूजीलैंड, फिलीपींस, सिंगापुर, थाईलैंड, वियतनाम एंड द US. Now its objective is to advance resilience, sustainability, inclusiveness, economic growth, fairness, competitiveness into the Indo-Pacific region. इसके कुछ initiatives भी हैं. Let's look at that. Launched in 2022, it provides digital skill training primarily for women and girls in emerging economies. Critical mineral dialogue focuses on mapping mineral resources, trade flows and fostering recycling collaborations. Cooperative work program advances clean economy goals via collaborative projects among IPEF countries. Okay, next is Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. So the 24th summit of the Council Heads of State of SCO held in Astana, Kazakhstan. Headquartered in Beijing, China. It was founded at the Shanghai Summit in 2001 by Russia, China, Kyrgyz Republic, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. SCO has 10 members: China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, India, Pakistan, Iran and Belarus. तो recent है हमारा ईरान 2023 and Belarus in 2024. In 2015 at UFA, Russia, the SCO decided to admit India and Pakistan as full members. ऑब्जर्वर स्टेटस अभी किसका है? अफगानिस्तान एंड मंगोलिया. ऑब्जेक्टिव है एड्रेसेस इश्यूज लाइक टेररिज्म, सेपरेटिज्म, एक्सट्रीमिज्म थ्रू द रीजनल एंटी टेररिस्ट स्ट्रक्चर बेस्ड इन ताशकंद, उज्बेकिस्तान. ठीक है. काशी वाराणसी हैज बीन डिक्लेयर्ड द फर्स्ट टूरिज्म एंड कल्चरल कैपिटल ऑफ SCO. नेक्स्ट इज आवर नॉन अलाइंड मूवमेंट, NEM. ऑलवेज इन न्यूज और बहुत पुराना है. NEM calls for Cuba's removal for unilateral terrorism list of US. Traces roots to the Bandung Conference in 1955 which laid non-alignment principles. Formally established at the first NEM summit in Belgrade, Serbia in 1961. Advocates independent foreign policies, reducing Cold War tensions, providing a platform for newly independent nations. 120 member countries हैं, primarily developing nations. मेंबर्स प्लेज टू अवॉइड फॉर्मल अलाइनमेंट विद मेजर पावर ब्लॉक्स। जिन लोगों ने मेजर पावर ब्लॉक्स से अलाइनमेंट के लिए मना कर दिया था, उन्होंने एक फॉर्मल टाइप का अरेंजमेंट बना लिया था, विच हैज बीन कॉल्ड एज नॉन अलाइन मूवमेंट। Okay, next is ASEAN Development Bank. Okay, India and the Asian Development Bank (ADB) signed a $500 million loan to aid sustainable infrastructure project. ADB, Manila, Philippines headquarter. A multilateral development finance institution जो 1966 में फॉर्म हुआ था to achieve a prosperous, inclusive, resilient and sustainable Asia and the Pacific region. ये लोन देता है, ग्रांट देता है, टेक्निकल असिस्टेंट देता है टू द मेंबर कंट्रीज एंड फोकसेस ऑन सेक्टर लाइक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एजुकेशन, हेल्थ। 69 मेंबर्स हैं, 49 फ्रॉम विद इन एशिया एंड द पैसिफिक एंड 20 फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया। इसका एक फाउंडिंग मेंबर है। Other key factors on ADB, it is a top shareholder as of 2023. Japan and US हैं 15.6% each, China है 6.4%, India है 6.3% and Australia है 5.8%. ADB इसके top shareholders में। ADB serves as the secretariat for the SASAC, acting as TAPI secretariat since 2003. ADB has been instrumental in the progress of TAPI pipeline. Okay, next in news is New Development Bank (NDB). So India has contributed nearly $2 billion to the BRICS New Development Bank as per Ministry of Finance. Headquarter in China, Shanghai. Agreement signed in 2014 during the 6th BRICS Summit in Fortaleza, Brazil by Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa as the members. ये अभी हमने थोड़ी देर पहले भी पढ़ा था. Membership is open to members of the UN. पर्पस क्या है इसका? मोबिलाइजिंग रिसोर्सेज फॉर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स इन इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स एंड डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. इनिशियल ऑथराइज्ड कैपिटल इज 100 बिलियन. इनिशियल सब्सक्राइब कैपिटल इज 50 बिलियन विद इक्वल कंट्रीब्यूशन फ्रॉम द फाउंडिंग मेंबर्स. अदर की फैक्ट्स में न्यू मेंबर्स इन 2021 बांग्लादेश, यूएई, इजिप्ट एंड उरुग्वे वर इंक्लूडेड एज न्यू एनडीबी मेंबर्स. Voting power of the founding members will not fall below 55% of the total voting power. NDB's India regional office in Gujarat International Finance Tech City was established. कब किया था? 2022 में. Okay, now AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. So Union Finance Minister asked Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank to assist low-income countries to avail financial resources. इसका headquarter है Beijing, China. It is a multilateral development bank established in 2016. It missions to finance infrastructure for tomorrow in Asia and beyond. 110 member countries हैं worldwide, 96 full members हैं, 14 prospective. India is a member. इसमें लार्जेस्ट शेयर होल्डर है चाइना 26.6% के साथ एंड द करंट वोटिंग शेयर एंड वीटो पावर. इसके बाद आपका इंडिया है 7.6, रशिया 6%. In 2018, AIIB was granted permanent observer status in the deliberations of the UN General Assembly and UN Economic and Social Council. Okay, so next in news is International Solar Alliance (ISA). इसका headquarter Gurgaon, Haryana. So recently Armenia became the 104th country to join ISA, International Solar Alliance. Genesis इसका jointly announced by India and France in 2015 at the UN Paris Climate Change Conference (COP21) of UNFCCC. So it promotes the efficient use of solar energy, facilitates solar energy projects and foster cooperation to reduce dependence on fossil fuels, addressing energy security and climate change. Alright, so guided by towards 1000 strategy. So इसको mobilize करना है USD 1000 billion of investment in solar energy by 2030. Deliver करना है energy access to 1000 million people using clean energy sources. इंस्टॉल करना है 1000 गीगावाट ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी कैपेसिटी एंड मिटिगेट ग्लोबल सोलर एमिशंस टू द ट्यून ऑफ 1000 मिलियन टन्स ऑफ CO2 एवरी ईयर. मेंबरशिप इसका है 104 कंट्रीज साइंड एंड रेटिफाइड। एलिजिबिलिटी जितने भी यूएन मेंबर स्टेट्स हैं, 2020 अमेंडमेंट फॉर फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ एग्रीमेंट। की इनिशिएटिव्स, वन सन वन वर्ल्ड वन ग्रिड connects different regional grids with common grid, solar technology application resource center, star C, capacity building, institutional strengthening, global solar facility to catalyze solar investment in underserved segments across Africa. MEGA solar facility, that is multi donor trust fund, was established by multilateral investment guarantee agency, part of World Bank Group and ISA to support solar investment in sub-Saharan Africa. So this is the first program under guarantee component of ISA global solar facility, and apart from that others are development of large scale solar power projects under solar park concept, ISA solar fellowship for mid career professionals, international solar festival and others. Major reports and indices, ease of doing solar 2020, accesses solar energy friendly policies in member nations, scaling solar applications for agriculture, focuses on solar based agriculture solutions, solar investment roadmap, guides investment in solar energy. So our next is International Renewable Energy Agency, ARENA. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है अबू धाबी, UAE. A leading global intergovernmental agency for energy transformation. Genesis इसका proposal for an international agency dedicated to renewable energy was made in 1981 at conference on new and renewable sources of energy held in Nairobi, Kenya. ARENA was founded in Bonn 2009 में with 75 states signing the ARENA statute at the time. Members है इसके 169 countries and European Union also. India is also a member. So it serves as the principal platform for international cooperation, supports countries in their energy transitions and provides state of the art data and analysis on technology. इसके major reports and indices में number 1, a world energy transition outlook brief tracking COP28 outcomes, tracks global progress towards the energy transition commitment to triple renewables by 2030 as outlined in COP28 of UNFCCC. कहाँ हुआ था? नवंबर 2023 में. Key findings इसके हैं 2023 added at 473 gigawatt, 73% contributed by solar energy, additional renewable to global energy mix. However, annual addition must reach almost 1100 gigawatt to meet tripling target. अगर ये ट्रिपल वाला टारगेट मीट करना है तो इतना हमारा होना ही चाहिए एनुअल. With a growth of 20.1%, Asia was leader in renewable deployment and its growth driven by China. अब इसके अदर रिपोर्ट्स में renewable energy outlook for Asian, renewable energy for agriculture, renewable energy and jobs, etc. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट है हमारा कोalition for disaster resilient infrastructure, CDRI. So headquarter इसका न्यू दिल्ली. Then recently coalition of disaster resilient infrastructure marked its 5th anniversary. Genesis है इसका UN Climate Summit 2019 by India. 40 countries, 7 organizations. About global partnership of nations, UN agencies, multilateral development banks and private sector also. So objective, promote the resilience of infrastructure system to climate and disaster risks, ensuring sustainable development. Significance है इसका global mechanism for funding and coordination, technical support and capacity building. So initiatives इसके द्वारा क्या क्या लिए गए हैं? So first one is infrastructure for resilient island states, for small island developing states. DRI Connect platform, a knowledge exchange, learning and collaborative platform. International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, ICDRI, annual conference to identify good practices. And Infrastructure Resilience Accelerator Fund, IRAF, established with support of UNDP and UNDRR. Reports and indices में इसका Global Infrastructure Resilience Report. Okay, so next in news is International Big Cat Alliance, IBCA. So Union Cabinet approved the proposal of India to become a member of IBCA by signing and ratification of the framework agreement. हेडक्वार्टर इसका कहाँ है? इंडिया में. Launched by India on 50th years of the India's Project Tiger in 2023. Apart from India, Nicaragua, Eswatini and Somalia have also joined this. Strengthen global cooperation for the conservation of 7 big cat species. Those are tiger, lion, leopard, snow leopard, cheetah, jaguar and puma. So India inhabits all cats except puma and jaguar. हमारे पास क्या नहीं है? Puma and jaguar. So multi-country and multi-agency coalition. Participants consist of 95 big cat range countries, non-cat range countries interested in big cat conservation, conservation partners and related scientific organizations. All UN member countries are eligible for becoming the member of IBCA. 9 international organizations have also consented to be partner organizations. Funding is support of rupees 150 crore for 5 years from 2023-24 to 27-28. Alright, next in news is Financial Action Task Force, FATF. It plenary in Singapore adopted the mutual evaluation report of India assessing its measure to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. So headquarter इसका पेरिस फ्रांस में. Genesis 1989. Members 40. 38 jurisdiction, 2 regional organization, Gulf Cooperation Council, European Commission and India ने join किया था in 2010. Russia ने suspended in February 2023. Objective is to protect financial systems from money laundering, terrorist financing and proliferation financing. Functions promotes financial inclusion, launched project on unintended consequences which includes a focus on financial exclusion. High risk jurisdiction, इसमें 2 लिस्ट होते हैं आपके. ब्लैक लिस्ट कंट्रीज विद सीरियस डेफिशिएंसीज जैसे कि नॉर्थ कोरिया, ईरान, म्यांमार. एंड ग्रे लिस्ट होता है कंट्रीज अंडर इंक्रीज्ड मॉनिटरिंग फॉर स्ट्रेटेजिक डेफिशिएंसीज. Alright, so next in news is International Narcotics Control Board, INCB. India's Jagjeet Pavadia has been re-elected to INCB for the 3rd term. कब से? 25 से 30 तक. Genesis 1998 में 13 members elected by UN Economic and Social Council for 5 years. Objective independent and quasi-judicial monitoring body for implementing क्या Single Convention on Narcotic Drug 1961 का, Convention on Psychotropic Substances 1971 and United Nations Convention against Illicit Traffic in Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances 1988. Alright, next in news is Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. So Union Cabinet approved the proposal of India to become a member of IBCA by signing and ratification of the framework agreement. Headquarter कहाँ? Hague, Netherlands. Genesis in 1997 in accordance with the CWC. Members have 193 states committed to the Chemical Weapon Convention. And what is CWD? Verifying the destruction of chemical weapons like those in Syria. It destroyed it under OPCW supervision and Libya also. So Nobel Peace Prize इसको मिला in 2013. The OPCW was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its efforts to eliminate chemical weapons globally and particularly in Syria. So let's read something about Chemical Weapon Convention. Adopted in 1992 and entered into force in 1997. Objective इसका eliminate chemical weapons and prevent the use of such weapons in the future. So it seeks to ban the development, production, stockpiling and use of chemical weapons and their precursors. Signatories इसके the CWC countries has 193 member states, making it one of the most universally ratified arms control treaty. इसके मेन प्रोविजंस क्या हैं? डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ केमिकल वेपन्स. ऑल केमिकल वेपन्स स्टॉक्स ऑफ मेंबर स्टेट्स मस्ट बी डिस्ट्रॉयड विद इन अ स्पेसिफाइड टाइम फ्रेम. वेरिफिकेशन इसका द CWC इंक्लूड्स डिटेल वेरिफिकेशन मेजर्स टू इंश्योर कंप्लायंस इंक्लूडिंग इंस्पेक्शंस ऑफ केमिकल वेपन स्टॉक पाइल्स, फैसिलिटीज एंड रिसर्च प्रोग्राम्स. थर्ड है नॉन डाइवर्जन. द कन्वेंशन प्रोहिबिट्स द डाइवर्जन ऑफ केमिकल मटेरियल्स टू यूज एज अ वेपन फॉर मिलिट्री पर्पसेज. नॉन सिग्नेटरी कौन है? केवल 4 कंट्रीज हैं, इजराइल, इजिप्ट, नॉर्थ कोरिया एंड साउथ सुडान. Implementation: member states are required to adopt national laws and regulations that align with the CWC's provision and provide for the destruction and monitoring of the chemical weapons. India is a signatory and party of CWC enacted Chemical Weapon Convention Act 2002. Alright, so next in news is Global Operational Network of Anti-Corruption Law Enforcement Authorities, that is GLOBE network. India has been elected to steering committee of GLOBE. Now genesis इसका 2021 में established at UNGA special session against corruption. Member countries have 121. Ministry of Home Affairs serves as the central authority for GLOBE network in India, while CBI and ED represent India as a member authorities. Objective is the operational law enforcement authorities with an anti-corruption mandate and can join forces to encounter transnational and corruption cases. Governance: it's governed by its members and supported by UN Office on Drugs and Crime and its Secretariat. Okay, so next is Combined Maritime Forces, CMF. So Indian Navy seized drugs in Arabian Sea as a part of multinational combined task forces 150 under CMF. Drugs were seized under Operation Crimson Barracuda. Now you can remember this कि ये operation किससे related है. First such operation conducted by Indian Navy after India joined CMF in 2022. कब join किया था? 2022 में. Genesis इसका है 2001 में. Member countries 46. इंडिया ने 2022 में ज्वाइन किया था. पार्टिसिपेशन इज प्योरली वॉलेंट्री. सो इट कंबाइंस 5 combined task forces. Now it is a multinational maritime partnership which aims to uphold the rules based international orders by countering illicit non-state actors on the high seas and promoting security, stability and prosperity in the international waters. It is commanded by US Navy Vice Admiral. Okay. Next is Codex Alimentarius Commission, CAC. India participated in the 86 sessions of Executive Committee of the Codex Alimentarius Commission. FSSAI represented India as a member elected on a geographic basis. कहाँ से? एशिया से in the session. Headquarter है इसका रोम में. Now CAC के बारे में genesis इसका an international food standard body established jointly by the Food and Agriculture Organization and WHO in 1963. Its objective is to protect consumers' health and ensuring fair practices in food trade. Develops food standards called Codex Alimentarius. CA is a collection of international standards, guidelines and codes of practices to protect the health of consumers and ensure fair practices in the food trade. These standards are voluntary. WTO agreements on sanitary and phytosanitary measures encourages members to harmonize national regulations with CA. 189 members, जिसमें 188 member countries हैं and 1 member organization है, that is EU. Okay, so next is C10 and L69. Indian External Affairs Minister participated in the first ever joint ministerial meeting of the C10 and L69 grouping. Now genesis established in 2007 by a group of developing countries to push for UN Security Council reform. ऐसा हमने एक और भी देखा है पहले. Advocacy advocates for an expansion in both categories of UNSC membership to include more developing nations and to reflect contemporary geopolitical realities. Now L69 क्या है? Is a grouping that includes countries from Africa से Latin America, Caribbean, Pacific Island states and Asia. India is also a member. Named after the document L69, which was a resolution tabled in the General Assembly in 2007-8, leading to the intergovernmental negotiation process on UNSC reform. Activities under this, it engages in regular consultations and meetings to align strategies on UNSC reform, often in coordination with other reform-minded groups like the African group. Okay, next is Colombo Security Conclave. So recently CSC officially included Bangladesh as its 5th member. Genesis formed in 2011 as a trilateral maritime security grouping of India, Sri Lanka and the Maldives, later joined by Mauritius and Bangladesh. It was rebranded as CSE in 2020. Seychelles इसका ऑब्जर्वर मेंबर है. So Colombo process, India chaired its first meeting as the chair of Colombo process. Genesis in 2003 in Colombo, Sri Lanka. 12 member states of Asia such as Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and others. India is one of the founding members. Objective is का regional consultative process that provides platform for consultation of the management of overseas employment and contractual labor. Priority areas जो है इसके skills and qualification recognition process and others. Support, UN's International Organization for Migration provides technical and administrative support to the Colombo process. Alright, next is International Energy Efficiency Hub, IEEH. So International Energy Efficiency Hub, Union Cabinet has approved the signing of a letter of intent enabling India to join the IEEH, a global platform dedicated to fostering collaboration and promoting energy efficiency worldwide. Established in 2020 as the successor of the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency, in which India was also a member. So 17 है इसमें, including countries like US, China, UK, Germany and European Commission. It is a global platform dedicated to fostering collaboration and promoting energy efficiency worldwide. BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has been designed as the implementing agency for the hub on the behalf of India. Okay, so now we will see some जिसमें organizations हैं but India is not a member. तो सबसे पहले उसमें International Criminal Court ICC. So ICC prosecutor sought arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister and Hamas leader for crimes against humanity and war crimes. Establishment इसका first permanent international court to prosecute serious international crimes. Rome Statute से it was adopted in 1998 and enforced in 2002. अब इसमें कौन कौन से टाइप्स के क्राइम ये देखते हैं. जीनोसाइड, क्राइम्स अगेंस्ट ह्यूमैनिटी, वॉर क्राइम्स, क्राइम्स ऑफ एग्रेशन. मेंबर्स है 125 मेंबर्स. यूक्रेन बिकेम 125th मेंबर इन 2024. पैलेस्टीन इज ऑल्सो अ मेंबर. कौन नहीं है? इंडिया, इजराइल, यूएस, रशिया एंड चाइना. इन्फोर्समेंट इसका है आईसीसी के जो डिसीजंस हैं दोज आर बाइंडिंग इन नेचर. ऑलराइट, जैसे अभी आईसीसी है सेम इज आईसीजे. अभी इसका कंपैरिजन देखते हैं थोड़ा सा. आईसीसी, आईसीजे, जेनेसिस, रोम स्टैट्यूट एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन 1945 बाय यूएन चार्टर. हेडक्वार्टर्स का हेग, नीदरलैंड्स. पीस पैलेस इन द हेग, नीदरलैंड्स. Composition 18 judges with 9-year non-renewal terms in 3 divisions, pre-trial, trial and appeals elected by Assembly of State Parties. इसमें 15 judges होते हैं elected to 9-year terms by UN General Assembly and the Security Council. Cases holds one individuals criminally responsible for offences. और ICJ में इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस आपके 2 टाइप्स की केसेस को देख सकते हैं. कॉन्टेंशियस केसेस, लीगल डिस्प्यूट्स बिटवीन स्टेट्स who are parties to ICJ and explicitly given consent. कोई स्टेट के बीच में हो लीगल डिस्प्यूट और ऐसा कुछ जिसका ICJ पार्टी हो और उसने कंसेंट दिया है. एडवाइजरी प्रोसीडिंग्स में रिक्वेस्ट फॉर द एडवाइजरी ओपिनियंस ऑन लीगल क्वेश्चंस रेफर्ड टू इट बाय द यूएन नेशन ऑर्गन्स एंड सर्टेन स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसीज. तो ये जो है वो इंडिविजुअल के अगेंस्ट में नहीं देखता है एंड ये इंडिविजुअल्स के अगेंस्ट में देखता है. Okay, next is International Energy Agency, headquartered in Paris, France. Autonomous intergovernmental organization within the OECD framework, established in 1974 to ensure the security of oil supplies after the oil crisis in 1973. Members इसके 32 members and 13 associate members. India associate member है 2017 से. To be a member, the country should be an OECD member along with the capacity to hold a crude reserve for 90 days for the previous year's import. ठीक है. Reports और indices इसके वर्ल्ड एनर्जी आउटलुक 2024, इसमें आज का की फाइंडिंग था, अराउंड 24% ऑफ टुडेज ग्लोबल ऑयल एंड LNG सप्लाईज फ्लो थ्रू द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज, अ मैरीटाइम चोक पॉइंट इन द मिडिल ईस्ट. More than half of the world's electricity will be generated by low emission sources before 2030. Tracking SDG 7, the Energy Progress Report 2024, released in the collaboration with other SDG 7 custodian agencies, that is International Renewable Energy Agency, United Nations Statistic Divisions, World Bank and World Health Organization. SDG 7 है क्या? Is to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. It is one of the goals of sustainable development. Now other reports, Global EV Outlook, World Energy Employment 2024, etc. So next is Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. PM of India participated in the 21st ASEAN India Summit in Vientiane, Laos, PDR. हेडक्वार्टर है इसका जकार्ता, इंडोनेशिया में. Genesis, it was established in 1967 in Bangkok with the signing of the ASEAN Declaration, that is Bangkok Declaration, by 5 members: Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand. आज के टाइम इसके 10 members हैं. Delhi Dialogue is an annual track 1.5 forum for discussion issues between ASEAN and India. डायलॉग पार्टनर्स हैं इसके ऑस्ट्रेलिया, कनाडा, चाइना, इंडिया, EU, जापान, रिपब्लिक ऑफ कोरिया, न्यूजीलैंड, रशिया फेडरेशन, UK एंड US. की आसियान इंस्टीट्यूशंस, आसियान रीजनल फोरम ARF 1994 में बना, इंडिया ने ज्वाइन किया 1996 में. इट कंप्राइजेज ऑफ 27 मेंबर्स, जिसमें 10 आसियान मेंबर्स हैं एंड 10 एशियन डायलॉग पार्टनर्स भी हैं. Then objective is platform for dialogue and cooperation on political and security issues among ASEAN members countries and their partners. ASEAN Future Forum proposed by Vietnam at the 43rd ASEAN Summit in 2023. Common platform for ASEAN member states as well as partner countries to share new ideas and policy recommendations. India is a founding member. Now this is the picture of ASEAN. Laos, Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei and Philippines. Okay, so this is the repetition. ठीक है. Another key ASEAN institutions, ASEAN plus 3 corporations includes ASEAN member states China, Japan and Republic of Korea. And India is an active participant ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting plus ADMM plus and expanded ASEAN Maritime Forum. तो ASEAN plus 3 अगर पूछेगा तो उसमें क्या क्या है? China, Japan and Republic of Korea. About India ASEAN, genesis इसका, India began formal agreement with ASEAN in 1992. India became a dialogue partner in 1996, summit level partner in 2002 and forged a strategic partnership in 2012. Exercises इसमें ASEAN India Maritime Exercises, ASEAN Solidarity Exercises. Next is European Free Trade Association. So India European Free Trade Association signed a Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, TEPA. Established in 1960 through the Stockholm Convention with 7 founding members: Austria, Denmark, Norway, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland and UK. Members: Switzerland, Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein, not the part of EU. Objective: to promote free trade and economic integration between its members and the trading partners. Other key facts: not a custom union. Unlike EU, EFTA, it is not a custom union, meaning member countries have their own external tariffs for countries outside the association. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अगर आपका एक यूनियन टाइप है तो उतना ही आपको टैरिफ लगाना पड़ेगा. अलग अलग कंट्रीज जो मेंबर कंट्रीज हैं वो अपने अलग अलग एक्सटर्नल टैरिफ्स कर सकते हैं. रिलेशनशिप विद EU, 3 EFTA members Iceland, Liechtenstein and Norway participate in the Switzerland has a series of bilateral agreements with the EU instead. तो जो आइसलैंड, लिechtenstein एंड नॉर्वे है ये तो इसमें आपके पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं यूरोपियन इकोनॉमिक एरिया में, एंड स्विट्जरलैंड है हैज अ सीरीज ऑफ बायलैटरल एग्रीमेंट विद EU इंस्टेड अलग से. इंडिया EFTA ट्रेड रिलेशंस, लार्जेस्ट ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर अमॉन्ग EFTA, स्विट्जरलैंड इज द लार्जेस्ट ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर फॉलोड बाय नॉर्वे. इंडिया हैज अ ट्रेड डेफिसिट विद स्विट्जरलैंड ड्यू टू गोल्ड इंपोर्ट्स. नाउ G7. India participated in the 50th group of 7 G7 summit in Apulia, Italy. where India was invited as an outreach country. अब इसका genesis we see established in 1975 in response to the need of economic and financial cooperation following by 1973 energy crisis. Nature, informal group of advanced democracies addressing global economy, migration, climate change and conflicts. Members US, Germany, Canada, UK, Japan, Italy and France. Russia joined the group in 1998 forming G8 but was excluded in 2014 for its annexation of Crimea. G7 था, G8 हुआ joining Russia, फिर रशिया को निकाल दिया क्योंकि annexation किया था उसने क्रीमिया का. European Union is not a G7 member but participates in the annual summit. Now other key facts on G7. Working mechanism. The G7 lacks a permanent structure. Its rotating presidency sets the agenda annually. The Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment (PGII) launched in 2022 to fund infrastructure projects in developing nations. Now it aims to mobilize up to $600 billion by 2027, focusing on sustainable, inclusive and quality infrastructure. Energy for Growth in Africa. It is an initiative of a G7-led effort aimed at facilitating access to external investment for clean energy projects in Africa. Other initiatives: G7 Future for the Seas and Ocean Initiative, G7 Oil Price Cap Coalition, Apilia Food Systems to enhance food security and sustainable agriculture. Okay, next is African Union. So G20 Rio de Janeiro Summit marked the first time of the African Union participated as full member. Headquarter Addis Ababa, Ethiopia में. Launched in 2002 as a successor of the Organization of African Unity. Members हैं इसके 55 member that makes up to the countries of the African continent. Aim है to promote Africa's growth and economic development by championing citizen inclusion and increased cooperation and integration of African states. Other key facts: recently AU has suspended Niger from all its activities due to military coup. Okay, next is NATO. So recently the North Atlantic Treaty Organization marked 75 years of its formation and Sweden has joined NATO as its 32nd member. Headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. 1949 में बना था with the North Atlantic Treaty. Nature है political and military alliance of 32 countries. Membership है 12 founding members. Notable additions: Finland का 2023 में recent. Core objective: collective defense and attack against one ally is considered as an attack against all allies, that is Article 5. Other key facts on NATO. Ukraine has applied in 2022 and is not a member yet. यही सारा है जिसकी वजह से रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर है क्योंकि ये अप्लाई करना चाहते थे फॉर नेटो बट रशिया डिड नॉट एग्री फॉर दैट एंड यूक्रेन इज स्टिल नॉट अ मेंबर. फंक्शन है प्रोवाइड्स transatlantic link between Europe and North America, facilitate defense cooperation and crisis management. Funding contributions from all member based on gross national income. Programs इसके Partnership for Peace, Mediterranean Dialogue, Istanbul Cooperation Initiatives and others. So NATO member countries, if we can see here, ये सारा आपको दिख जाएगा in the map. Just go and read once. Czech Republic, Iceland, Norway, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, United Kingdom, France, UK, Luxembourg, Portugal, Slovenia, Spain, Italy, Montenegro, Albania, Greece, North Macedonia, Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. Okay. So next is Five Eyes Alliance. So Australia decides to allow non-citizen residents from the Five Eyes Alliance to join its armed forces. So what is this? It is a multilateral intelligence sharing network. किस के बीच पे? US, UK, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. So basically ये लोग ना अपना intelligence एक दूसरे के साथ share करते हैं. Those are the Five Eyes. So these partner countries share a broad range of intelligence with one another. It includes the non-political intelligence oversight, review and security entities of the Five Eyes countries. Okay, next in news is Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. OPEC Plus agreed to extend its deep oil output cuts into 2025. So headquarter है इसका Vienna, Austria. Genesis OPEC Plus formation established in 2016 when OPEC signed an agreement with 10 other oil producing countries. OPEC का formation founded at the Baghdad Conference in 1960 by Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. मेंबर्स हैं इसके अल्जीरिया, इक्वेटोरियल गिनी, गैबन, लिबिया, नाइजीरिया, कोंगो, यूएई, ईरान, इराक, कुवैत, सऊदी अरेबिया एंड वेनेजुएला. नॉन ओपेक मेंबर्स कौन से हैं? रशिया, मैक्सिको, कजाकिस्तान, ओमान, अजरबैजान, मलेशिया, बहरीन, साउथ सुडान, ब्रुनेई एंड सुडान. Now objective is to coordinate and unify petroleum policies among member countries to secure fair and stable prices for petroleum producers. Alright, so one more is there like this. Gulf Cooperation Council. At a recently held India GCC Joint Ministerial Meeting for Strategic Dialogue, the Joint Action Plan 24 से लेके 28 तक was adopted. Now it was established in 1985. इसके members 6 Gulf states. कौन कौन? UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar and Kuwait. What are the aims? Is to foster coordination, integration and interconnection between the member states in all fields including politics में भी, economy में भी and security में भी. ठीक है. Next is Arab League. So the 2024 Arab League Summit was held in Bahrain. Headquarter इसका Cairo, Egypt में. It is an intergovernmental organization encompassing all Arab states in Middle East and North Africa. So it was established in Cairo, Egypt in 1945 following adoption of Alexandria Protocol in 1944. It's strengthening relations between member states, coordination of policies and cooperation on political security and economic front. 22 member states हैं और इंडिया का ऑब्जर्वर स्टेटस है इसमें. ठीक है. Next is Mercosur. Bolivia became a full member of Mercosur. So it is Southern Common Market Mercosur for its Spanish initials in Latin America. यहाँ से इसका नाम आया है. Genesis इसका 1991. Member countries Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay 1991 में. Then Venezuela and Bolivia ने भी इसको ज्वाइन कर लिया. India has a preferential trade agreement with Mercosur. Venezuela has been suspended since December 2016. So facilitating the free movement of goods, services, capitals and people among the 4 member countries, ये इसका objective है. Next is AUKUS. AUKUS completes 5 years of establishment. The group reaffirmed its commitment to urgent reform of the United Nations Security Council through text-based negotiations. Genesis announced in 2021 a new 3-way strategic defense alliance, Australia, UK and US. India इसका member नहीं है. So to boost defense capabilities, accelerate technological integration and expand the industrial capacity of all 3 countries. Key feature: AUKUS aims to counter China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region. Is not a formal military alliance. NATO जैसा नहीं है ये. AUKUS primarily serves as a framework for advancing defense technology, especially and for facilitating the sharing of critical technology. Legally binding tripartite agreement एक हो चुका है जिसको हम जानते हैं Exchange of Naval Nuclear Propulsion Information Agreement के नाम से, जो 2021 में साइन हो गया था. Now AUKUS का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है? Pillar number 1, conventionally armed nuclear powered submarines. UK and US are helping Australia acquire nuclear powered submarines and supporting Australia to acquire its first conventionally armed SSN submarine fleet. And pillar 2, advanced capability development, focused on developing joint capabilities to enhance interoperability, cooperation in advanced military capability, जैसे कि cyber area, cyber capacity में artificial intelligence and others. Example, hypersonic flight test and experimentation project arrangement. Okay, so next is our miscellaneous, जो अलग अलग organizations थी, those were in news. तो number 1 in that is World Wide Fund for Nature. Okay, headquarter इसका Gland, Switzerland. an international non-profit organization working in nearly 100 countries. Okay, and its aim is to develop and deliver innovative solutions that protect communities, wildlife, and the places in which they live. So Genesis, it was established in 1961 as World Wildlife Fund at IUCN's headquarters in Morges, Switzerland. Later it was renamed as Worldwide Fund for Nature in 1985, and in WWF India, established as a charitable trust in 1969. Okay, so organizes worldwide movement as Earth Hour. इसका जेनेसिस है हमारा 2007 में. इट वॉज स्टार्टेड एज लाइट ऑफ मूवमेंट इन सिडनी. तो इवन टुडे जब भी हम अर्थ आवर सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, वी स्विच ऑफ द लाइट्स एवरीवेयर and observed every year in March between in countries local time. Okay, now reports and indices. तो इसका जो रिपोर्ट है लिविंग प्लैनेट रिपोर्ट, की फाइंडिंग्स, वाइल्ड लाइफ पॉपुलेशन declined by 73% over the past 50 years. 1970 से 2020 के बीच around 73% of the wildlife population has been declined by 50 years. Okay. So freshwater populations have suffered heaviest declines, followed by terrestrial and marine population. Adopting India's consumption patterns worldwide would need less than 1 earth by 2050. ओहो, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट हमारा है IUCN. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है ग्लैन, स्विट्जरलैंड. IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, is first global environmental organization focused on nature conservation and sustainable resource use. It was established in 1948. So membership governments हैं, NGOs, research institutions. Objective is to promote biodiversity conservation, sustainable development, and influences environmental policy globally. Key initiatives: IUCN Green List recognizes effective conservation areas. World Conservation Congress with global platform for conservation dialogue and nature-based solution. NBS, it uses nature to tackle challenges like climate change. Okay. Next, इसके कुछ reports हैं. Agriculture and conservation explores complex relationship between agriculture and conservation. इसकी key finding है, agriculture directly threatens 34% of species exist on the IUCN Red List of threatened species, and about 17% of the species on IUCN Red List have agriculture documented as a habitat. Second is global biodiversity outlook, assesses global biodiversity trends. Third is protected planet report. It evaluates protected area effectiveness and then nature based solutions for climate change. So it promotes nature in climate solutions. Okay, next is our World Economic Forum. इसका headquarter है Geneva, Switzerland. So WEF is an organization for private public cooperation. Established in 1971 as a non-profit foundation, functions to demonstrate entrepreneurship in the global public interest while upholding the highest standards of governance. So okay, इसकी annual meetings होती हैं. So latest held in Davos, Switzerland. The key initiative: the First Movers Coalition, global coalition of companies working to scale the innovative technologies needed to decarbonize the world's heavy emitting sectors. Next is Edison Alliance for Digital Inclusion and Net Zero Industry Tracker to monitor progress on the hard to abate sectors, decarbonization and others also. इसके important reports हैं Future of Jobs Report 2025, Global Competitiveness Report and Global Gender Gap Report, Energy Transition Index, Global Risk Report, Global Travel and Tourism Report and others also. Okay, next is Interpol. So it introduced the Silver Notice as a part of pilot phase involving 52 countries including उसमें India भी है, to combat transnational organized crime by targeting criminal assets. Headquarter है इसका Lyon, France. So International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, founded in 1923, world's largest international police organization. 196 member countries have facilitates global cooperation among law enforcement agencies to combat international crime. Other key information about this is Interpol facilitates communication and cooperation among law enforcement agencies but cannot arrest or conduct investigations independently. अब ये independently नहीं कर सकते. So So 8 type of notice they can issue plus Interpol, UNSC special notice also. Red notice is not an international arrest warrant but request to provisional arrest of potential extradition. ठीक है. इसके other key facts are India joined Interpol in 1949. CBI is designated as a National Central Bureau of India for ICPO Interpol. तो हमारे यहाँ से इसको किसको डेजिग्नेट किया है, CBI को, टू कोऑपरेट विद इंटरपोल. इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन ऑपरेशन है इसके. ऑपरेशन थंडरस्टॉर्म, ऑपरेशन ब्लैक फैन, ऑपरेशन पैंजा, ऑपरेशन लैंडफिश, ऑपरेशन प्रे एंड अदर्स ऑल्सो. ओके, सो आउट ऑफ 8 नोटिसेस, रेड नोटिस जो है दैट इज फॉर वांटेड पर्सन, ग्रीन नोटिस वार्निंग्स एंड इंटेलिजेंस, येलो नोटिस मिसिंग पर्सन्स के लिए, ऑरेंज नोटिस इमिनेंट थ्रेट, ब्लू नोटिस एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए, पर्पल नोटिस मोडस ऑपरेंडी, ब्लैक नोटिस अनआइडेंटिफाइड बॉडीज, and then Interpol UN Security Council special notices, groups and individuals subject to UNSC sanctions. ठीक है. IPBES Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, headquarter Bonn, Germany. Genesis 2012. It aims to strengthen the science policy interface for biodiversity and ecosystem services for conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity, human well-being and sustainable development. Membership independent intergovernmental body है comprising of 147 member states. India is a founding member. So not a UN body but UN Environmental Program provides secretariat services to IPBES. इसके reports transformative changes definition. It is a fundamental system-wide shift in views, way of thinking, structures, way of organizing and practices, way of doing and behaving. So 4 principles to guide transformative changes: equity and justice, pluralism and inclusion, respectful and reciprocal human nature relationship, and adaptive learning and action. Okay, so our next is Basel Committee on Banking Supervisions, BCBS. Consumer Banking Association released a white paper, the impact of the Basel III Endgame proposal. So इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं. Established in 1974, BCBS is the primary global standard setter for the prudential regulations of banks and provides a forum for regular cooperation on banking supervisory matters. Now, its 45 members comprise central banks and bank supervisors from 28 jurisdictions. Its decisions do not have any legal force. So Basel norms क्या क्या हैं? Overview: these are a set of measures developed by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision to strengthen the regulation, supervision and risk management of the banks. So basically banking उससे related है, banking sector से. So Basel 1 1987 में आया था, introduce credit risk and asset risk weighting. Basel 2 आया था आपका 2004 में, focused on the credit risk and risk weighting of assets. These norms set minimum level of capital requirement that banks should have. And Basel 3 in 2010 released to build robust capital base for banks and ensure sound liquidity and leverage ratios. Bank for International Settlements. As per Bank for International Settlements (BIS), Project M-Bridge reached minimum viable product stage in mid 2024. Headquarter कहाँ है इसका? Basel, Switzerland में. Bank for International Settlement created in 1930 at the Hague Conference to support central banks' pursuit of monetary and financial stability through international cooperation. Act as a bank for central banks. Now, structure owned by 63 central banks including RBI also. Next is World Energy Council. Headquarter है इसका London, UK. 26th World Energy Congress co-hosted by the World Energy Council concluded in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Formed in 1923, the WEC is an UN accredited not-for-profit global energy body. Mission इसका enabling access to clean, affordable and renewable energy for better lives and a healthier planet. Develop practical solution and convene network of global energy transition leaders and practitioners. More than 3,000 member organizations is the public, private, academic sectors and around 90 countries they are located. Reports and indices, humanizing energy, a look at G20 agenda, World Energy Scenario Foundation 2024, World Energy Trilemma Report 2024 and World Energy Issues Monitor 2024. Okay, so next is International Cryosphere Climate Initiative. So operates as two entities, जिसमें से एक आपका है ग्लोबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन यूएस बेस्ड इन बर्लिंगटन वर्मोंट. नेक्स्ट इज ICCI यूरोप, charitable organization under Swedish regulation based in Stockholm, Sweden. Founded in 2009 to address the impacts of climate change on the cryosphere. Now what is cryosphere? Frozen regions of the earth. Objective, it advocates for reducing cryosphere warming to mitigate the global climate risk including glacier melt, sea level rises and permafrost thaw. Collaborates with गवर्नमेंट्स, NGOs, क्लाइमेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जैसे कि UNFCCC, IPCC एंड अदर्स ऑल्सो. ओके, इसके रिपोर्ट्स एंड इंडाइसेस में स्टेट ऑफ द क्रायोस्फीयर 2024, लॉस्ट आइज, ग्लोबल डैमेज, असेस द करंट स्टेट ऑफ द क्रायोस्फीयर एंड इट्स रिस्पॉन्स टू क्लाइमेट चेंज. इस रिपोर्ट के की फाइंडिंग्स हैं, आइस शेल्स इन नॉर्दर्न ग्रीनलैंड हैव लॉस्ट अबाउट 35% ऑफ देयर टोटल वॉल्यूम 1978 से अभी तक. And rate of global sea level has raised double in the last 30 years. Okay, next is International Rice Research Institute IRI, South Asia Regional Center इसका ISAC in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. So International Rice Research Institute South Asia Regional Center marks a significant expansion of IRRI beyond its headquarters in the Philippines. So it was established in 2018 through MOU between India's Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare and IRRI. तो जो इंडिया में ये डेवलप हुआ था 2018 में. IRRI के हेडक्वार्टर्स कहाँ पर है? फिलीपाइंस में. इज डेडिकेटेड टू रिड्यूसिंग पॉवर्टी एंड हंगर थ्रू राइस साइंस. And to achieve this, ISAC is promoting adoption of best agronomic and management practices like dry seeded rice and alternate wet and drying. Dedicated to strengthening rice-based agri-food system in South Asia region by developing climate-resilient bio-fortified rice varieties for farmers and consumers. ठीक है. Next is Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice (CCPCJ). So the 33rd session of the CCPCJ, called the Steps to Combat Transnational Organized Crimes, and launched the Generation Justice (GenJus) initiative to engage youth in crime prevention and criminal justice. So it was established in 1992 by UN Economic and Social Council (ECOSOC). 40 member states इसके elected by ECOSOC for 3-year terms. Function, its principal UN policy making body for crime prevention and criminal justice. Okay. Next is our International Cooperative Alliance (ICA). Global Cooperative Conference is being organized in India for the first time in the 130-year long history of ICA. So it was founded in 1895 in London. A global organization that unites, represents and serves cooperative worldwide. 306 member organizations हैं 105 countries में. It serves as the apex body for the cooperative movement, providing a global platform for collaboration, knowledge exchange and coordinated action. Okay, abhi tak we were seeing for the international organizations. Now we will go for the national organizations. So number one is that is constitutional. Under this, Election Commission of India. So ECI celebrated 75th year of its establishment and also observed 25th journey as the National Voters Day. So ECI is a permanent constitutional body established on 25th January 1950. Constitutional provision है इसका entailing articles 3242 to 329. तो ये हमारे आर्टिकल नंबर 324 से 329 में दिया हुआ है और ये हमारे पार्ट 15 का पार्ट है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का. ठीक है. स्टैट्यूटरी प्रोविजंस इसके चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर एंड द अदर इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स, अपॉइंटमेंट, कंडीशन ऑफ सर्विस एंड टर्म्स ऑफ ऑफिस. एक्ट 2023 इट रेगुलेट्स देयर अपॉइंटमेंट, सर्विस कंडीशन एंड टेन्योर, अदर थिंग्स. सो की रोल है इसका, ECI एडमिनिस्टर इलेक्शंस टू लोकसभा के इलेक्शन, राज्यसभा के, स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज, ऑफिसेज ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट. Composition में consist of Chief Election Commissioner, 2 election commissioners. Initially, the commission had only one. In 1989, 2 election commissioners were appointed who served until 1st January 1990. Now, 1993 के बाद से commission has permanently included 2 election commissioners. So, इसके functions क्या क्या हैं? It disqualifies candidate failing to lodge timely account of the election expenses, ensures inner party democracy and grants status of national and state parties, advisory jurisdiction on matters of post-election qualifications. ठीक है. Next is our Comptroller and Auditor General (CAG). So, Senior IAS Officers K. Sanjay Murthy appointed as next CAG of India. CAG is the head of Indian Audit and Account Department. Article 148 के अंडर में आता है. Appointment by President of India by warrant under his hand and seal. Salary and service conditions में determined by Parliament by law and charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Reappointment not eligible for both central and state government. Article 149 में दिया गया है इसके duties and powers to determine by the Parliament. Article 151 tells about reports of CAG shall be submitted to President. ये जो भी report बनाएगा it shall be submitted to President. Then cause them to be laid before each house of the Parliament. तो ये अपना देंगे President को, then President दोनों houses में present करेंगे. CAG of India duties, powers and conditions of Service Act 1971. 6 ईयर का टेन्योर है अप टू दी एज ऑफ 65 ईयर जो भी अर्लियर है. रिमूवल इसका है बाय प्रेसिडेंट ऑन द सेम ग्राउंड एंड इन द सेम मैनर एज द जज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज आवर नेशनल कमीशन फॉर बैकवर्ड क्लासेस एनसीबीसी. एनसीबीसी इज रिव्यूइंग स्टेट लिस्ट ऑफ ओबीसीज. So, constitutional body है under Article 338B inserted to 102nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 2018. Article 338B mandates union and every state government to consult the NCBC on all major policy matters affecting the rights of OBCs. Composition में इसके 1 chairperson, vice chairperson and 3 other members appointed by the president. Their service conditions are also determined by the president. Commission has all the powers of a civil court. Duties क्या हैं NCBC के? It investigates and monitors safeguards for backward classes, inquire into specific complaints regarding deprivation of rights of the backward classes, advise on socio-economic development of the OBC and also evaluate their progress. Such other functions in relation to advancement of the OBCs as the President may by rule to specify. Annually present reports to the President on safeguard implementing and make recommendations. Okay, next is our National Commission for Scheduled Caste. So, NCSC. Recently, Delhi High Court said that National Commission for Scheduled Caste is not empowered to investigate or issue any directions in the nature of the civil or criminal code. So, it is under Article 338 of the Constitution. Chairperson है, Vice Chairperson है, 3 other members हैं appointed by President of India. Hold office for a term of 3 years and shall not be eligible for reappointment for more than 2 terms. Investigate and monitor all matters relating to the constitutional and other legal safeguards for SCs. Inquire into specific complaints with respect to deprivation of rights and safeguards of SCs. Okay, next is UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. So, recently UPSC chairperson resigned 5 years before expiration of his terms. So, Article 315 में there shall be a Public Service Commission of the Union and Public Service Commission of each state also. Article 316 में chairman के बारे में बताया है which will be appointed by the President. Term होगा 6 years, 65 years of age जो भी earlier है. Held office for at least 10 years either the under government of India or under government of any state. He she is ineligible for further employment either under the government of India or under the government of state. Removal है इसका by president किन किन grounds पे है and adjust insolvent. Engages during his term of office in any paid employment outside the duties of his office and unfit to continue in office by reason of infirmity of mind or body. ठीक है. Next is State Public Commission. So recently Vice President addressed the 25th National Conference of Chairpersons of SPSC. It conducts examination for appointments to the services of the state. आर्टिकल 315 से स्टार्ट होता है 323 तक. पार्ट 14 कंटेन्स प्रोविजंस ऑन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशंस फॉर यूनियन एंड स्टेट्स. अपॉइंटमेंट इनका गवर्नर ऑफ स्टेट आर्टिकल 316 के अंडर में, 6 years or 62 years whichever is earlier. Removal by president in the same manner as member of UPSC on grounds like adjudged insolvent, engages in paid employment outside his office, unfit, misbehavior, और उसका इंक्वायरी होगा बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट. Okay, next is State Finance Commission. So recently first of its kind finance commissions or conclave organized by Ministry of Panchayati Raj with significant emphasis was placed on strengthening State Finance Commission. Article 243I requires governor to constitute SFC within 1 year of commencement of Constitution, that is 73rd Amendment Act 1992. So tenure इनका होगा every 5 years. SFCs to review financial position of panchayats 243I and municipalities article 243Y and make suggestions to the government about distribution of taxes between state and local bodies, panchayat and municipalities. Determination of taxes, duties and others which may be assigned to or appropriated by local bodies. Grants in aid to local bodies by the state. So next is Interstate Council. So it has been reconstituted. It is a forum through which center and state coordinate and cooperate with each other. Established under Article 263 of Constitution through a presidential order in 1990 on recommendation of Sarkaria Commission. इसमें चेयरमैन है हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर, मेंबर्स है इसके सीएम ऑफ ऑल स्टेट्स, सीएम ऑफ यूनियन टेरिटरीज हैविंग अ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशंस ऑफ यूटीज नॉट हैविंग अ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. 6 ministers of cabinet rank on Union Council of Ministers to be nominated by PM. Alright, next we are coming to statutory part. उसमें आपका सबसे पहले आता है लोकपाल. Recently, Lokpal of India has established an inquiry wing under Section 11 of Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013 to probe graft cases under public servants. ठीक है, जेनेसिस नेम इसका एंटी करप्शन ऑम्बड्समेंट सेंट्रल लेवल established by Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013 to investigate and prosecute corruption cases involving public servants. Both 1 and 2 administrative reforms ARC recommended establishment of Lokpal institution. लोकायुक्ता स्टेट लेवल पे होता है. इट्स स्ट्रक्चर इज नॉट यूनिफॉर्म अक्रॉस ऑल स्टेट्स. अलग अलग स्टेट्स में अलग अलग स्ट्रक्चर हो सकता है. लोकायुक्ता अपॉइंटमेंट बाय गवर्नर जनरली इन कंसल्टेशन विद चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ स्टेट हाई कोर्ट एंड लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन इन स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. कंपोजिशन है इसका लोकपाल का कंसिस्ट ऑफ चेयरपर्सन, पर्सन हु इज और हैज बीन अ CJI और इज और हैज बीन अ जज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट, along with 8 members with 50% of being judicial members appointed by President. Justice Pinaki Chandra Ghosh in 2019, first Lokpal. Justice A.M. Khanwilkar is current Lokpal. Chairperson and members shall be appointed after obtaining recommendations of selection committee. ठीक है, एंड द टर्म्स ऑफ ऑफिस इज 5 years फ्रॉम डेट ऑन विच ही एंटर्स अपॉन द ऑफिस और अंटिल ही अटेन्स एज ऑफ 70 years, जो भी आपका पहले हो जाएगा. ऑन सीजिंग टू होल्ड ऑफिस चेयरपर्सन और एंड एवरी मेंबर शैल बी इनएलिजिबल फॉर रीअपॉइंटमेंट एज चेयरपर्सन और मेंबर ऑफ लोकपाल. However, a member shall be eligible to appointed as chairperson of the Lokpal if his total tenure does not exceed 5 years. ठीक है, वैसे रीअपॉइंटमेंट नहीं होगा बट हो सकता है एज अ चेयरपर्सन ऑफ लोकपाल अगर उसका टोटल टेन्योर 5 साल से ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ है. कंपोजिशन ऑफ सिलेक्शन कमेटी ऑफ लोकपाल: प्राइम मिनिस्टर चेयरपर्सन, स्पीकर ऑफ द हाउस, लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन इन द हाउस ऑफ द पीपल, चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया और अ जज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट नॉमिनेटेड, 1 eminent jurist to be nominated by president. अब लोकपाल के 2 विंग्स होंगे. inquiry and prosecution. So conducts a preliminary inquiry into any offence alleged to have been committed by a public servant punishable under Prevention of Corruption Act PCA in 1888. Submit करता है inquiry report to Lokpal within 60 days. Headed by Director of Inquiry under Lokpal Chairperson, Director will be assisted by 3 superintendents of the police, SPs, General, Economic and Banking and Cyber as well. So each SP will be further assisted by inquiry officers and other staff. Have all powers of civil court under Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Prosecution wing may headed by the Director of Prosecution for prosecution of public servants in relation to any complaint by Lokpal. Director of Prosecution shall file a case based on investigation report before special court and prosecute public servant in relation to any offence punishable under 1988. Powers of Lokpal, superintendence and direction over any central investigation agency, जिसमें आपका CBI for cases referred to them by Lokpal. Issue appropriate directions to public servant entrusted with preparation, custody of any document, record to protect, prevent such document and others. Power under Civil Procedure Code for conducting preliminary inquiry and investigation for eradication of corruption. Serves as final appellate authority for redressal of public grievances by any public authority in case where decision contains corruption finding under PCA 1988. ठीक है, jurisdiction of Lokpal to inquire into allegation of corruption. So Prime Minister or Minister in Union Government or members of the Parliament and officials of Union Government under ABCD, चारों ही ग्रुप में. Chairperson, members, officers and directors of any board, corporation, society, trust or autonomous body either established by Act of Parliament, wholly partly funded by Union and State Government, or any society or trust or body that receives foreign contribution above 10 lakh. 10 lakh से नीचे है तो उसमें नहीं आएगा उसके jurisdiction में. अगर 10 lakh से ऊपर है तो it can jurisdict on this. Okay, now Central Vigilance Commission. So recently CVC in its annual report 2023 highlighted ministry department sector-wise corruption complaints received and disposed against public officials. So about CVC, statutory body है, Act 2003 से conduct हुआ. Established in 1964 through a resolution of Government of India on recommendations of K. Santhanam Committee on Prevention of Corruption. So in 1998 it was conferred statutory status through an ordinance promulgated by Union Government. इसका members में 3 member body है जिसमें एक आपके CVC रहेंगे and 2 अलग से Vigilance Commissioners. Appointment by President on recommendation of high powered committee consisting of PM रहेंगे उसमें, Union Minister, Home Affairs, Leader of Opposition in लोक सभा. तो ये जो कमेटी है ये रिकमेंड करती है एंड अपॉइंटमेंट प्रेसिडेंट करते हैं. Now roles and functions. So supervise vigilance administrations across central ministries, departments and organizations. Conducts preliminary inquiries into complaints referred by Lokpal for officials across various grades. Oversees functioning of Delhi Special Police Establishment CBI in investigation corruption related offences and others. ठीक है, next is our National Human Rights Commission NHRC. So recently United Nations linked Global Alliance of National Human Rights Situation GANHRI deferred accreditation of NHRCI for the second year in a row. Headquarter है इसका न्यू दिल्ली में. Statutory body है established under Protection of Human Rights Act 1993 as amended in 2006 and 19. Appointment इसका chairperson and members of commission are appointed by President of India on recommendation of a committee जिसके हेड होते हैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर. कमेटी में लोग होते हैं स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा एंड मिनिस्टर ऑफ इन चार्ज ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स, लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन इन लोकसभा एंड राज्यसभा एंड डेप्यूटी चेयरमैन ऑफ राज्यसभा. ओके, टेन्योर इनका है चेयरपर्सन एंड मेंबर्स ऑफ एनएचआरसी विल होल्ड ऑफिस फॉर 3 years और 70 years, जो भी अर्लियर होगा. चेयरपर्सन एंड मेंबर्स बोथ आर एलिजिबल फॉर रीअपॉइंटमेंट. रिमूवल है इसका, बोथ चेयरपर्सन एंड मेंबर्स कैन बी रिमूव फ्रॉम ऑफिस बाय प्रेसिडेंट ऑर्डर ऑन ग्राउंड ऑफ प्रूव्ड मिसबिहेवियर, इनकैपेसिटी, लेकिन कंसल्टेशन आफ्टर सुप्रीम कोर्ट. Powers, it has all the powers of a civil court trying a suit under कोड ऑफ सिविल प्रोसीजर 1908। इसमें क्या क्या कर सकते हैं? समनिंग एंड इन्फोर्सिंग द अटेंडेंस ऑफ विटनेस एंड एग्जामिनिंग ऑन ओथ, discovery and production of any document, receiving evidence on affidavits, requestioning any public record or copy thereof from any court or office, issuing commissions for the examination of witness or documents। यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा दिया है जिसमें कंपोजिशन दिया है NHRC का। सो चेयरपर्सन है रिटायर्ड चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया और अ जज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट। 5 फुल टाइम मेंबर्स रहेंगे इसमें, रिटायर्ड और सर्विंग जज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट, रिटायर्ड सर्विंग चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ हाई कोर्ट, 3 other members to be appointed from persons having knowledge and practical experience in the matter of human rights के मैटर में नॉलेज होना चाहिए, 1 of whom shall be a woman। 7 deemed members होंगे इसमें, चेयरपर्सन ऑफ नेशनल कमीशन फॉर माइनॉरिटीज, बैकवर्ड क्लासेस, पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटीज, SC ST, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चाइल्ड राइट्स एंड अ वुमेन। तो ये 7 डीम्ड मेंबर्स तो होंगे ही बाय डिफॉल्ट। जो भी आपका नेशनल कमीशन फॉर माइनॉरिटीज का चेयरपर्सन होगा वो इसमें होगा। Same backward classes, person with disabilities, SC ST, protection of child rights and women also। Now let's see further the function of NHRC। Inquire into human rights violation on its own or on a petition by a victim। Intervene in proceeding involving human right violation pending before a court or approval of such court। Visit any jail or institution under control of state government to study living condition of inmates। Now review law and procedure for protection of human rights, and last review factors including act of terrorism that inhibit human rights। Okay. Come to the next is National Investigation Agency NIA। The Supreme Court in Ankush Vipan Kapoor versus NIA ruled that the National Investigation Agency can investigate non-scheduled offences like scheduled offences under the NIA Act। हेडक्वार्टर है इसका इन न्यू दिल्ली। फॉर्मेशन, द NIA was established in 2008 by National Investigation Agency Act following the 2008 Mumbai attacks to counter terrorism and other national security threats। The NIA's primary objective is to investigate and prosecute offences related to terrorism, organized crimes and other offences that threaten national security। Jurisdiction है इसका, the NIA has jurisdiction over the entire country and is empowered to investigate case beyond the state boundaries। The NIA is a central agency and its investigation are authorized by the Union Ministry of Home Affairs। It has the authority to arrest कर सकते हैं, investigate कर सकते हैं and prosecute accused individuals। ठीक है, इसके अंदर में वेरियस जो offences हैं कौन कौन से इंक्लूड होते हैं। UAPA so provides a legal framework for addressing unlawful activities and terrorism। second है आपका Explosive Substance Act, regulates and the use and handling of explosive materials। third है Atomic Energy Act, addresses threats related to nuclear terrorism। Narcotic Drug Act, control and prevents drug related offences linked to terrorism again। and then IPC covers a broad range of terrorist activities under Indian law। Okay, next is Employees Provident Fund Organization EPFO। So EPFO wins International Social Security Association's Good Practice Award for Asia and Pacific। So Genesis Employees Provident Fund Ordinance 1951 के through it was replaced by Employees Provident Fund Act of 1952। Now the act is now referred as Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act of 52। एंड इसका नोडल मिनिस्ट्री है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट। मिशन टू एक्सटेंड द रीच एंड क्वालिटी ऑफ पब्लिक मैनेज्ड ओल्ड एज इनकम सिक्योरिटी प्रोग्राम्स। सो एडमिनिस्ट्रेट्स द फॉलोइंग स्कीम: EPF 1952, EPS 1995 एंड EDLI स्कीम 1976, एम्प्लॉयज प्रोविडेंट फंड, एम्प्लॉयज पेंशन स्कीम, एम्प्लॉयज डिपॉजिट लिंक इंश्योरेंस। Okay, next is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India। So recently IBBI issued new guidelines to streamline the process of appointing insolvency professionals as resolution professionals। हेडक्वार्टर न्यू दिल्ली में। स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी है अंडर इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड 2016, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स के अंडर में। It has regulatory oversight over the service providers in the insolvency ecosystem। It has responsibility to provide a regulatory framework for insolvency and resolution process। गवर्निंग बोर्ड में फंक्शनिंग ऑफ IBBI इज गवर्न बाय द गवर्निंग बोर्ड कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, जिसमें आपके एक चेयरपर्सन रहेंगे, 3 members फ्रॉम अमंग्स्ट द ऑफिसर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट नॉट बिलो द रैंक ऑफ जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी और इक्विवेलेंट। एक मेंबर आपके RBI नॉमिनेट करेंगे। 5 other members टू बी नॉमिनेटेड बाय सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, of whom at least 3 shall be whole time members. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज आर सिक्योरिटीज एंड एक्सचेंज बोर्ड ऑफ इंडिया, दैट इज सेबी. So, SEBI issued Foreign Venture Capital Investors Amendment Regulation 2024 to amend existing SEBI FVCI Regulation of 2000. Headquarters इसका है मुंबई. Constituted as a non-statutory body in 1988 through a resolution of Government of India, established as a statutory body in 1992 under SEBI Act. Objective is to protect the interest of investors in securities and to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market. So, it functions to protect the interest of investors, to regulate business operations, providing a regulatory platform for stock brokers, portfolio managers and other intermediaries, prohibiting fraudulent and unfair trade practices including insider trading, to educate investors about security markets and their intermediaries. Okay, next is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDAI. Insurance Regulatory Development Authority identified Life Insurance Corporation of India, General Insurance Corporation of India and New India Assurance Company as DSIIs. Headquarter Hyderabad. Now, formed based on recommendation of the Malhotra Committee as an autonomous body in 1999, incorporated as a statutory body in 2000 under IRDAI Act. Objective है speedy and orderly growth of the insurance industry, speedy settlement of genuine claims and others. So ये 10 member body होती है, chairman है, 5 full time है, 4 part time है, under Ministry of Finance. Role of IRDAI: issue, renew, modify, withdraw, suspend, cancel certificates of registration for insurance companies, protect the interests of policyholders, adjudicate disputes between insurers and intermediaries or insurance intermediaries, promote and regulate professional organizations connected with the insurance and reinsurance businesses. Okay, next in line is NABARD. So, NABARD released second All India Rural Finance Inclusion Survey in 2021-22. Headquarter है मुंबई में. So, it is India's apex development bank to promote sustainable and equitable agriculture and rural development. 1982 में established under NABARD Act of 1981 on recommendation of B. Sivaraman Committee. Now, mandate इसका है providing and regulating credit and other facilities for promotion and development of agriculture, small scale industries, cottage and village industries, handicrafts and allied economic activities in rural areas. Ownership: NABARD is wholly owned by Government of India. Okay, next is National Finance Reporting Authority, NFRA. So, it recently recommended the revision of standards on auditing, aligning it with the global standard ISA 600. Headquarter in New Delhi. Okay, Constitution in 2018 under Section 1321 of the Companies Act 2013. Objective: continuously improve the quality of all corporate financial reporting in India. Functions: recommend accounting, auditing policies and standards, monitor and enforce compliance, and oversee service quality. Okay, next is Monetary Policy Committee. So, RBI released study on monetary policy transmission. Under Section 45ZB of the amended in 2016 RBI Act 1934, the central government is empowered to constitute a monetary policy committee. Its objective is to maintain price stability while keeping in mind the objective of growth. 6 members होते हैं, governor, RBI ex officio chairperson, 5 other members, 2 from RBI and 3 appointed by the government. अब सबका ईच मेंबर हैज़ 1 वोट, सिर्फ गवर्नर जो है उनके पास से कास्टिंग वोट होता है। एटलीस्ट 4 टाइम्स इन अ ईयर इनकी मीटिंग होती है और कोरम इनका 4 मेंबर्स का बनता है। All right, next is National Green Tribunal. Recently, NFRA recommended the revision of the standards on auditing, aligning it with the global standards IS 600. All right. National Green Tribunal NGT stated that Ganga River is facing floodplain encroachment. Principal place of sitting New Delhi है. Others भोपाल में, पुणे में, कोलकाता में and चेन्नई में. Genesis established as a statutory body under the NGT Act 2000. Composition में headed by a chairperson with 10 to 20 judicial as well as expert members. Guided by principles of natural justice and not bound by the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Powers of Civil Code, suo motu cognizance, power to grant relief in the form compensation and damages to affected person. Mandate: a specialized judicial body equipped with expertise solely to adjudicate environmental cases in the country. Okay, now we see the legislative framework of NGT. इसके अंडर में आता है बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी एक्ट 2002, वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट 1974, वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल पोल्यूशन सेस 1977, Forest Conservation Act 1980, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution 1981, Environment Protection Act 1986 and Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. Disposal of applications or appeals within 6 months of filing for the same. Appeal: its orders are binding but not final. It can review its judgments or an appeal could be made in Supreme Court within 90 days. कर सकते हैं लेकिन 90 डेज के अंदर करना होगा. बेंचेस: एनजीटी हैज़ अ प्रेजेंस इन 5 जोन्स. नॉर्थ प्रिंसिपल बेंच, हेडक्वार्टर इन दिल्ली, उसके अलावा सेंट्रल, ईस्ट, साउथ एंड वेस्ट. ओके, कमिटी फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट. कमीशन फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट इन नेशनल कैपिटल रीजन एंड एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज. स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी है, एस्टेब्लिश्ड अंडर कमीशन फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट इन नेशनल कैपिटल रीजन एंड एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज 2001 का एक्ट है. रिप्लेस्ड इन्वायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी. मैंडेट है इसका एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट इन नेशनल कैपिटल रीजन एंड एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज इंक्लूडिंग पंजाब, हरियाणा, उत्तर प्रदेश एंड राजस्थान. इट एम्स टू अचीव बेटर कोऑर्डिनेशन, research, identification and resolution of problems surrounding the air quality index. Key functions में release statutory directions for environmental pollution to the state government, imposes penalty for non-compliance, offence punishable with imprisonment up to 5 years और fine up to 1 crore या दोनों भी लगा सकती है. Okay, next is our Archaeological Survey of India, ASI. ASI intends to delist 18 centrally protected monuments out of 24 untraceable monuments. ठीक है, 24 untraceable है, उनमें से 18 को delist करने का तो सोचा है. हेडक्वार्टर है इसका न्यू दिल्ली में. So founded in 1861 by Alexander Cunningham, also known as the father of Indian archaeology. Ministry of Culture के अंडर में आता है. ओके, प्रीमियर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है फॉर द आर्कियोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज, प्रोटेक्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ एंशिएंट मॉन्यूमेंट्स ऑफ द कल्चरल हेरिटेज. मैंडेट है इसका रेगुलेट्स ऑल आर्कियोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटीज इन द कंट्री एज पर द प्रोविजंस ऑफ एंशिएंट मॉन्यूमेंट्स एंड आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स एंड रिमेन्स एक्ट 1958 एंड एंटिक्विटीज एंड आर्ट ट्रेजर एक्ट 1972. In charge of protection and maintenance of centrally protected monuments, sites of national importance including World Heritage Property and others. Alright, next is our National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. So Supreme Court set aside 2008 NCDRC ruling in Awas and others versus RBI, which barred banks from charging over 30% interest on credit card dues, deeming it an unfair trade practice. Okay, अब ये क्वासी जुडिशियल है. कमीशन सेटअप इन 1988 अंडर कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986, headed by a sitting or retired judge of Supreme Court or a sitting or retired chief justice of a high court. अपील कर सकते हैं अगेंस्ट द ऑर्डर ऑफ NCDRC लाइज विद इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट. Okay, so it entertained complaints valued more than 2 crores, appellate and revisional jurisdiction from the orders of State Commission or the District Forum. Alright, next is Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority. So IEPFA has launched a new toll-free number 14453 to better serve claimant query. Okay. So under aegis of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and established under the Companies Act 2013, it is responsible for managing the Investor Education and Protection Fund, and it focuses on safeguarding investors' interest by facilitating the refund of shares, unclaimed dividends and mature deposits. Okay, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, ICAR. It's a National Institute of Secondary Agriculture, celebrated 100 years of establishment. So apex body है for coordination, guiding and managing research and education in agriculture, including इसमें horticulture भी आता है, fisheries and animal science. Formerly known as Imperial Council of Agriculture Research, established हुआ था 16th July 1929 as a registered society under Society Registration Act 1860. Recommended by report of Royal Commission on Agriculture 28 में. Status autonomous organization है under the Department of Agriculture Research and Education, Ministry of Agriculture और headquarter है इसका न्यू दिल्ली में. Next is Central Silk Board. So recently the platinum jubilee of the Central Silk Board was celebrated. Headquarter in Bengaluru. Statutory body established in 1948 by the Act of Parliament under Ministry of Textiles. So it advised the government on all matters concerning sericulture and silk industry, standardization of various production processes and others. International Sericulture Commission member secretary of CSB was elected as the Secretary General of International Sericulture Commissions for the tenure of 2025 से 27 तक. So the ISC is an UN registered intergovernmental organization engaged in the development of the sericulture and silk industry in the world. Next is Species Board of India. So the Union Ministry of Commerce and Industry approved SPICE, sustainability in spice sector through progressive, innovative, collaborative interventions for export development scheme. Headquarter in Cochin, Kerala. Constituted in 1987 under the Spice Board of Act 1986. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Autonomous body responsible for export promotion of the 52 scheduled spices and development of cardamom. Codex Alimentarius Committee. India hosts and chairs Codex Committee on Spices and Culinary Herbs, set up under Codex Alimentarius Committee. SBI serves as a secretariat. Okay, next is Tobacco Board. So on its formation day, Tobacco Board highlights that earnings of flue-cured Virginia tobacco farmers have more than doubled between 2019 से 2024 तक. कितना हो गया? More than doubled. Headquarter है इसका गुंटूर, आंध्र प्रदेश में. Ministry, Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So Genesis established on 1st January 1976 by an Act of Parliament, Tobacco Board Act 1975. Objective: promote development of tobacco industry, including regulations of production, distribution and export of FCV tobacco. Next is Central Electricity Authority, CEA. Under Ministry of Power launches National Electricity Plan developed by the Central Electricity Authority. Headquarter है इसका न्यू दिल्ली में. It was established under the Repealed Electricity Supply Act 1948, which has been substituted by Electricity Act 2003. Members CEA consist of not more than 14 members, जिसमें आपके chairperson and who not more than 8 members are full-time members appointed by central government. It advises central government on national electricity policy, specific technical standards for construction of electricity plants, electric lines and grid connectivity. ठीक है, तो अभी तक हम पढ़ रहे थे स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडीज के बारे में. अभी वी विल रीड अबाउट नॉन स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडीज. सो इसमें नंबर 1 है सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन CBI. Recently, Supreme Court in State of West Bengal versus Union of India case 2024 upheld maintainability of West Bengal's government sue against Union over registration and investigation of cases by CBI despite revocation of its general consent in 2018. ठीक है, तो अभी सेंट्रल ब्यूरो ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बारे में पढ़ते हैं थोड़ा सा. एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन 1963 ऑन रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ सांथनम कमिटी ऑफ प्रिवेंशन एंड करप्शन 1962 to 64. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पर्सनल पेंशन एंड पब्लिक ग्रीवेंसेस. नॉन स्टैट्यूटरी है, नॉन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है. इट इज गवर्न्ड बाय दिल्ली स्पेशल पुलिस एस्टेब्लिशमेंट एक्ट 1946. प्रीमियर इन्वेस्टिगेशन पॉलिसी एजेंसी है विच कोऑर्डिनेट्स इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ इंटरपोल मेंबर कंट्रीज ऑल्सो. ये हमने पहले भी पढ़ा था. मोटो है इंडस्ट्री इम्पार्शियलिटी एंड इंटेग्रिटी. Vision combating corruption in public life, curbing economic and violent crimes through meticulous investigation and persecution, fight cyber and high technology crime and others. Headed by director, assisted by special director or an additional director, joint directors, deputy inspector generals, superintendents of police and all other usual ranks of police personnel. Panel that selects the CBI chief consists of prime minister होंगे उसमें, leader of opposition होंगे and chief justice of India as well. In 2021, President promulgated 2 ordinances to extend tenure of directors of CBI and Enforcement Directorate ED for up to 5 years from fixed tenure of 2 years. पहले 2 साल का इनका fixed tenure होता था, अभी 5 years हो गया. Types of cases investigated by CBI: anti-corruption, economic affairs, special crimes and suo motu also. अब इसमें एक फंडा होता है consent of state for CBI. एक होता है general consent and one is specific. So CBI is not required to seek fresh permission every time it enters that state in connection with the investigation for every case. अगर किसी ने जनरल कंसर्न किसी स्टेट ने दे रखा है तो CBI को हर बारी उस स्टेट से परमिशन लेने का जरूरत नहीं है. सेक्शन 6 ऑफ DSPE एक्ट एम्पावर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट टू गिव और डिनाई कंसेंट टू CBI ऑफिसर. ठीक है, हम इसको मना भी कर सकते हैं अंडर सेक्शन 6. नाउ स्पेसिफिक कंसेंट CBI वुड हैव टू अप्लाई टू स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इन एवरी केस. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज आर नीति आयोग. इट हैज सेलिब्रेटेड 10 years ऑफ इट्स फाउंडेशन. सो गवर्नमेंट थिंक टैंक है, फॉर्म्ड इन 2015 बाय रेजोल्यूशन ऑफ यूनियन कैबिनेट. इससे पहले जो प्लानिंग कमीशन था उसको इसने रिप्लेस किया. कंपोजिशन में चेयरमैन प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया. गवर्निंग काउंसिल में प्राइम मिनिस्टर, CMs ऑफ ऑल स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज विद लेजिस्लेचर, लिeutenant गवर्नर्स ऑफ अदर्स यूटीज, एक्स ऑफिशियो मेंबर्स, वाइस चेयरपर्सन्स. नीति आयोग में फुल टाइम मेंबर्स, नीति आयोग के स्पेशल इन्वाइटीज. एक्स ऑफिशियो मेंबर्स में कौन है? इट इंक्लूड मेंबर्स, मैक्सिमम 4 मेंबर्स ऑफ यूनियन काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स नॉमिनेटेड बाय प्राइम मिनिस्टर. स्पेशल इन्वाइटी में कौन है? इंक्लूड्स एक्सपर्ट, स्पेशलिस्ट एंड प्रैक्टिशनर्स विद रेलेवेंट डोमेन नॉलेज नॉमिनेटेड बाय PM. इसकी रीजनल काउंसिल्स होती हैं टू एड्रेस स्पेसिफिक इश्यूज एंड कंटिजेंसी इम्पैक्टिंग मोर देन वन स्टेट और अ रीजन. CEO है इसके अपॉइंटेड बाय PM फॉर अ फिक्स्ड टेन्योर इन रैंक ऑफ अ सेक्रेटरी ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. मैंडेट है इनके टू ओवरसी अडॉप्शन एंड मॉनिटरिंग ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स इन द कंट्री एंड टू प्रमोट कॉम्पिटिटिव एंड कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म अमॉन्ग द स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज. अब ये रिपोर्ट्स कौन से रिलीज होते हैं? SDG इंडिया इंडेक्स, नेशनल मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स, सिस्टेमिक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ स्कूल एजुकेशन, साथी रिपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट प्रिपेयर्डनेस इंडेक्स एंड अदर्स. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज आर इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक IPPB. सो रिसेंटली इट मार्क्स इट्स 7th फाउंडेशन डे. 2018 में इट वॉज एस्टेब्लिश्ड अंडर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पोस्ट, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन विद 100% इक्विटी ओन्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. It provides every household in India an access to efficient banking services and enable them to become financially secure, empowered by leveraging postal network. Services offered: saving current account, direct benefit transfer, bill and utility payment, access to three-party products such as loans, insurance and others. Okay, next is Law Commission. So President approves the constitution of 23rd Law Commission for a 3-year term, that is from 1st September 2024 to 31st August 2027. So mandate to review and recommend legal reform to enhance the Indian legal system. Composition, it will include a full-time chairperson, 4 members and additional ex officio and part-time members. History है इसकी, first constituted in 1834 by Governor General under Charter Act of 1833, chaired by Lord Macaulay. The first Law Commission of Independent India was established in the year 1955 and it was chaired by Sri M.C. Setalvad. ठीक है, टाइप है इसके नॉन स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी है, कंसिस्टेड बाय नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लॉ एंड जस्टिस. एम इज टू रिफॉर्म लॉज टू मैक्सिमाइज जस्टिस एंड प्रमोट गुड गवर्नेंस अंडर द लॉ रूल ऑफ लॉ. इट फंक्शंस, कंडक्ट्स रिसर्च एंड प्रोवाइड्स रिकमेंडेशन बेस्ड ऑन डिफाइंड TORs. Okay, next is our pay commission. So union government approved the establishment of 8th pay commission. ठीक है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बनाती है इनको. Since 1947 से 7th pay commission has been constituted. The 7th pay commission was implemented in 2006 and set to complete its term in 2026. चेयरपर्सन थे 7th के जस्टिस अशोक कुमार माथुर. ओके, इट प्लेज अ वाइटल रोल इन डिटरमाइनिंग सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर, क्या होना चाहिए, अलाउंसेस कितने मिलने चाहिए एंड अदर बेनिफिट्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज आवर नेशनल सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल सेक्रेटरीट NSCs. Recently the government has appointed additional national security advisor to the National Security Council Secretariat. ठीक है, it constituted in 1999 based on KC Pant led task force recommendations. Apex advisory body headed by PM comprising ministers of finance, defense, home and external affairs also. स्ट्रक्चर में इसका स्ट्रेटेजिक पॉलिसी ग्रुप है headed by NSA, ensures interministerial coordination for national security policies. नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एडवाइजर बोर्ड भी है इसमें, headed by NSA again, provides long term analysis and policy recommendation. And then National Security Council Secretariat. ठीक है, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल सेक्रेटरीट में देखते हैं कोर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स इसके. Establishment and purpose, created in late 1990s as Secretariat for National Security Council. Apex advisory body है for internal and external security matters. Provides strategic direction and long-term vision for national security. Leadership headed by National Security Advisor NSA, holds rank of Cabinet Minister. Can generate cabinet notes and access relevant papers. Governance and amendments. 2019 Business Rules Amendment. NSC's board under specific governance rule. Expanded powers to generate and access cabinet documents and enables participation in inter-ministerial consultations. ठीक है, सो नेक्स्ट इज आर ISRO, इंडियन स्पेस रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है बेंगलुरु में. इंडियन नेशनल कमिटी फॉर स्पेस रिसर्च वॉज सेटअप बाय 1962. ISRO was formed in 1969, superseding INCOS part. Brought under Department of Space in 1972. As National Space Agency, development and application of space technology for various national needs. Chairman, headed by Chairman, who is ex-Secretary of DOS and Chairman of Space Commission. Overview of organization structure. सबसे पहले इनके आएंगे प्राइम मिनिस्टर, देन स्पेस कमीशन. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस में ऑटोनॉमस बॉडीज आएंगी, ISRO, देन इन स्पेस, देन CPSEs. तो ऑटोनॉमस बॉडीज में IIST आएगा आपका, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्पेस साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. फिर आपका आएगा नेशनल एटमॉस्फेरिक रिसर्च लेबोरेटरी, देन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्पेस एप्लीकेशन सेंटर, देन फिजिकल रिसर्च लेबोरेटरी, देन आपका ISRO, इन स्पेस एंड CPSEs. सो एंट्रिक्स कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड कमर्शियल एंड मार्केटिंग आर्म है ISRO का, engaged in providing space products and services to international customers worldwide. New Space India Limited है NSIL, commercial arm of ISRO, enables Indian industries to take up high technology space related activities. Next is Commission of Railway Safety. So recently several incidents of train derailment, collision in last 6 months raised concern over railway safety. Headquarter है इसका लखनऊ UP. Earlier it was Railway Inspectorate. It was redesigned as the Commission of Railway Safety in 1961. Ministry of Civil Aviation के अंडर में है. Deals with matters related to safety of rail travel and operations. Has statutory functions, inspectorial, investigatory and advisory under Railways Act 1989. Investigate serious train incidents. Next is National Sample Survey Office NSSO released the result of HCES 2023 and 24. So National Sample Service Office, founded in 1950, NSSO is a part of NSO and a subordinate office under the control of MOSPI. The National Statistics Office consists of the CSO and NSSO. इसको और इसको मिला के आपका NSO बन जाता है. So conduct large scale sample surveys in diverse field of all India basis. Frequently annual surveys होते हैं, small sample studies on specific topics, और quinquennial surveys होते हैं, large scale detailed surveys conducted every 5 years. अभी तक कौन कौन से मेजर सर्वेज किए हैं इन्होंने? हाउसहोल्ड कंजप्शन ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर सर्वेज, पीरियोडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्वेज, एनुअल सर्वेस ऑफ इंडस्ट्री एंड सिचुएशन असेसमेंट ऑफ सर्वे ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर हाउसहोल्ड. Next is Central Groundwater Board CGWB. Recently several incident of train delay. Not again. Okay, इसका headquarter है आपका फरीदाबाद हरियाणा, and Central Groundwater Board aims to develop. Just give me a second. Okay. So, Central Groundwater Board aims to develop and disseminate technologies and monitor implement national policies for management of India's groundwater resources. It was established in 1970 by renaming the Exploratory Tube Wells Organization under the Ministry of Agriculture, subordinate office under Department of Water Resource, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, Ministry of Jal Shakti. Functions हैं इसके, ग्राउंड वाटर असेसमेंट करती है, मैप्स एक्विफर्स को एंड इवेल्युएट्स अवेलेबिलिटी एंड क्वालिटी. मॉनिटरिंग है इसका, ऑपरेट्स 25,000 प्लस ऑब्जर्वेशन वेल्स टू ट्रैक ग्राउंड वाटर लेवल्स एंड क्वालिटी. रेगुलेशन डेवलप्स गाइडलाइन एंड पॉलिसीज फॉर सस्टेनेबल ग्राउंड वाटर यूज. साइंटिफिक स्टडीज कंडक्ट हाइड्रोलॉजिकल, जियोफिजिकल एंड केमिकल एनालिसिस. की इनिशिएटिव है इसके अंडर में नेशनल एक्विफर मैपिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम. It maps aquifers and suggests region-specific groundwater management plans. Artificial recharge projects promotes rainwater harvesting and recharge techniques to replenish groundwater, and groundwater regulations to recommend state-specific regulatory mechanism for controlling groundwater overuse. ठीक है, इसमें रिपोर्ट्स और इंडाइसेस में है डायनामिक ग्राउंड वाटर रिसोर्स ऑफ इंडिया एनुअल रिपोर्ट एक्सेसिंग ग्राउंड वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी एंड ट्रेंड्स. ग्राउंड वाटर ईयर बुक summarizes the status of groundwater levels and quality. Aquifer mapping report documents detailed aquifer characteristics and management strategies. ठीक है, next if we come, National Federation of State Cooperative Bank Limited. So Union Home Minister and Minister of Corporation attended Diamond Jubilee celebration of National Federation of State Cooperative Banks Limited. Established in 1964 with a view of facilitate the operations of state and central cooperative banks in general and development of cooperative credit in particular. Objective to facilitate the growth and development of cooperative banking in India, ensuring financial inclusion and supporting the rural economy. Promote and protect the interest of member banks in all spheres of their activities and to give expression to the views of the member banks. इसके 3 विंग्स हैं, प्लानिंग, रिसर्च, डेवलपमेंट, ऑल इंडिया म्यूचुअल अरेंजमेंट स्कीम्स एंड कंप्यूटर सर्विस डिवीजन. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट इज डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस. सुप्रीम कोर्ट रिस्टोर डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर्स अथॉरिटी टू इश्यू नोटिसेज एंड रिकवर ड्यूज अंडर द कस्टम्स एक्ट ऑफ 1962. It's a premier intelligence and enforcement agency on anti-smuggling matters under Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom, Ministry of Finance. Objective है इसका detect and curb smuggling of contraband including drug trafficking and illicit international trade in wildlife and environmentally sensitive items, and combating commercial frauds related to international trade and evasions of custom duties. Okay, next is National Turmeric Board. So Union Minister for Commerce and Industry launches National Turmeric Board. हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ है इसका? नाइजामाबाद, तेलंगाना. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री के अंडर में है. प्रोमिनेंट मेंबर्स इसके की डिपार्टमेंट एंड मिनिस्ट्रीज, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फार्मास्यूटिकल, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एंड फार्मर वेलफेयर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कॉमर्स. सो विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड ऑन दी बोर्ड ऑफ रोटेशन. जो स्टेट्स का हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेशन होगा वो रोटेशन बेसिस पे होगा. एनटीबी इज एन एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडी, नॉट अ स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी. ठीक है, अभी हमने स्टैट्यूटरी, नॉन स्टैट्यूटरी, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, एवरी काइंड ऑफ पढ़ लिया है. कुछ है जो बिल्कुल ही अलग से हैं. नंबर 1 इन दैट साहित्य अकादमी. रस्किन बॉन्ड वॉज अवॉर्डेड एज द साहित्य अकादमी फेलोशिप. हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ है इसका? न्यू दिल्ली में. जेनेसिस फॉर्मली इनॉग्रेटेड इन 1954 and registered under the Society Registration Act 1860 under the Ministry of an autonomous body under Ministry of Culture. Undertakes literary activities in 24 languages. इसमें 22 आपकी scheduled languages हैं, apart from that English and राजस्थानी. इसके मेजर अवार्ड है साहित्य अकादमी अवार्ड एंड भाषा सम्मान. All right, next is India Meteorological Department. So making 150 years of IMD, the Prime Minister launched the mission मौसम. हेडक्वार्टर है इसका न्यू दिल्ली, पहले कहाँ था? कलकत्ता. So in 1636, Halley, a British scientist, published treatise on the Indian monsoon, which he attributed to a seasonal reversal of winds due to differential heating of the Asian landmass and the Indian Ocean. हिस्ट्री इसका 1875 में जेनेसिस हुआ. द फर्स्ट डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेटरी वॉज सर जॉन एलियट, हु वॉज अपॉइंटेड इन मे 1889 एट कलकत्ता हेडक्वार्टर्स. 1947 के बाद में इसमें क्या क्या एवोल्यूशन हुआ है? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अर्थ साइंसेज के अंडर आ गया. फर्स्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन इंडिया टू हैव अ मैसेज स्विचिंग कंप्यूटर फॉर सपोर्टिंग इट्स ग्लोबल डेटा एक्सचेंज. वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट फ्यू इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कंप्यूटर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन द कंट्री वॉज प्रोवाइडेड टू IMD फॉर साइंटिफिक एप्लीकेशंस इन मेट्रोलॉजी. India was the first developing country in the world to have its own geostationary satellite, INSAT, for continuous weather monitoring of this part of the globe and particularly for cyclone warning. Evolution of meteorological service in India. Okay, तो नंबर 1 1947 से 59 तक क्या हुआ था? कमेंसमेंट ऑफ रडार, एज, फ्लड एंड मेट्रोलॉजिकल सर्विसेज. देन 60 से 70 के बीच में कमेंसमेंट ऑफ ग्लोबल सैटेलाइट एरा. 71 से 83 ग्लोबल मॉनिटरिंग फोरकास्टिंग. 84 से 90 तक हमने इंडियन सैटेलाइट एरा देखा. देन 91 से 2005 में कमेंसमेंट ऑफ ऑटोमेटिक ऑब्जर्वेशंस. देन 2006 से 13 में एज ऑफ मॉडर्नाइजेशन ऑफ IMD. एंड 2014 से 23 टिल नाउ ऑल्सो रैपिड एडवांसमेंट इन द फोरकास्टिंग एक्यूरेसी. ओके, इंटरनेशनल हेल्प में इट प्रोवाइड साइक्लोन फोरकास्ट एंड वार्निंग सर्विसेज टू 13 नॉर्थ इंडियन ओशन in countries along with forecast and warning services of SAARC nation. तो ये 13 नॉर्थ इंडियन ओशन कंट्रीज को देते हैं along with SAARC nations. So next is National Stock Exchange NSE. SEBI approves 10 times hiking NSE's authorized share capital to 500 crore. हेडक्वार्टर है इसका मुंबई में. So established Incorporated in 1992, recognized as stock exchange by SEBI in 1993 and commencement operations in 1994. Stock exchange is a centralized marketplace where securities such as stock, bonds and derivatives are bought and sold by investors. मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन के हिसाब से देखेंगे तो इंडिया का लार्जेस्ट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज है. And it is Nifty 50, owned and managed by NSE Indices Limited, is a flagship stock market index of NSE. Consists of diversified 50 stock indexes होते हैं इसमें from various sector of the economy. Pioneer in technology, first exchange in India to implement electronic screen-based trading. NSE Indices launched India's first electric vehicle index, Nifty EV and New Age. Automotive indexes to track performance of companies which form a part of EV ecosystem. Alright, so here we complete this session of our current affairs based on Vision PT365. Now we'll meet again in the next video. ये भी इसी पे based होगा. हम एक नया topic लेके आएंगे for the current affairs PT365. Till then, bye bye, take care.